Get him up, get him up. Get him up, get him up. Funny how you choose and pick your battles, dude. Keep saying you number one, but I'm on top, yo, it's done. Dropping styles like napalm, fake rappers think they so strong. Verses full of hype and always ready for a fight. Spontaneous, magnanimous, cause they can't get close enough to run with us. If you wanna battle, get it hard, get it raw. No emotions, I shake you until your chains fall off. What? Large, in charge, I set the bar high. You running with the big boys now. Get up, don't cry.
Omaha! Face! Period! Move 20! 50's right. Move! Clear! Omaha! Sit! Let down! 50's right!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SUNBOWL 35. Here the men's SUNBOWL in 2019. Bayside Ravens taking on the Brisbane Rhinos. We are ready for the Australian national anthem. I ask all in attendance, stand in preparation for an Australian national anthem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, our Australian national anthem. As I alluded to earlier, SUNBOWL 35, the Bayside Ravens taking on the number one seeded Brisbane Rhinos in a game that I will sum up early before I cease to speak about it. A game that's been filled, we'll be entering with a fair bit of controversy over the past 48, 50 hours. And I will address the situation on the screen now. You can see your Zebra crew for tonight's game. But the big question for a lot of people who have been keeping track for the last couple of days is Calder Shanks going to play? I can only speak in facts, and that's all I'm going to speak in. And the fact is, GQ has ruled that Calder Shanks is not eligible to play in the men's 2019 SUNBOWL. He was eligible in the Colts, participated in that this afternoon. Obviously, the Rhinos are disappointed about the decision. You would have seen on the screen, I'm not going to pretend like it's not there, on their jerseys, they covered up the GQ logos on their jerseys. That's a drama for another day. And on top of that, Jeremiah Gates has decided to wear Calder Shanks' number 10 jersey. Calder Shanks is wearing Jeremiah Gates' jersey, wearing the number 7 he wore when he was a Spartan. But that is the situation. Calder Shanks not eligible to play. The Rhinos have him on the sideline, and they are clearly proving their disapproval of the decision. Very shortly, and you can see the captains also sitting back at the 40. They've sent Calder Shanks as their captain here. We're going down to centre field.
All right, welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the SUNBOWL. Congratulations. Ravens, you're the visiting team. You get to call the toss. Tails is the whistle. Heads is the fox. What's your call?
Tails.
Call is tails. It is tails.
We will defer.
Ravens have won the toss, elected to defer.
We would like to run that way.
You don't want to receive?
No, we'd like to run that way.
You'd like to run that way. Okay.
So we'll
You'll
receive.
take the ball?
We'll receive, yep.
Okay. Face your respective ends, please. The Ravens will receive the ball for the first half.
Well, even that was a little schmozzle in itself, the coin toss there. But the Rhinos symbolically sending a message about their disapproval of the ruling that has taken place here on Calder Shanks. In any case, we'll now turn our attention to the matter at hand, which is the 2019 SUNBOWL. It is a match between two teams that have featured as the runner-ups for the last 4 years. In fact, close to 8 of the last 9 SUNBOWLs have featured one of these teams as runners-up. Often to the man on my left, and I'll bring him in now, Adam Bolton, former Gold Coast Stingray, now Gridiron Australian coach. But these two teams, one of these teams are going to finally get over the hump. The Rhinos have done it in 2005. They did it under the leadership of Glenn Parker. The Ravens, they've had 4 cracks at it, haven't been able to get the job done.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Look, going to be a very exciting game. Very, very close to call. I really don't know which way this is going to go. But yeah, it's going to be an entertaining day of football, that's for sure.
Yes, it will. And the Rhinos getting ready to kick off. The Ravens electing to receive, opposed to, well, I think they officially chose to defer initially, then Calder chose to run with the wind, or at least in a direction, and then the Ravens changed their mind and said, we'll take the ball. Henrik Walters boots this down to Warwick Russell, 1 kick return touchdown in 2019. Looking for a second, he might just get that. Walters is the last man in his road. He manages to do enough to bring him down. An electrifying start to the 2019 SUNBOWL. Ravens will start inside the Rhinos 30.
Certainly one way to start a game, and yeah, I think the Ravens would be very happy to get this field position to start the game.
Talking about this Ravens starting offense, Jared Stegman was here a number of years ago for the opposite side, was starting quarterback for the Rhinos against the Stingrays. Unfortunately, threw a pick to Damien Malloy, which ended their opportunity. And now he is representing Birdtown in the jersey number 10. Left of him, Darius Holiday Miller, one of the longest serving Ravens now, alongside Jason Leon. Trips right to start us off here. The first play from scrimmage. We'll see a delay. Possibly an audio delay there on our official, but delay a game for the Ravens took too long there, and that's not a great sign in the first play from scrimmage. Delay again. First and 15 now. Ball's on the Rhinos 33, almost jumping offside. Stegman's got time, looking for Bessie deep early. He's got the shoulder, touchdown. Mitchell Bessie getting past Cheyenne James.
It's a very familiar hookup from their days back in the Bears. And that's a hell of a way to start a SUNBOWL.
It's a combination, as you said, started I think 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And Bessie first started playing for Jared Stegman's Bears. Obviously Jared Stegman in the Logan system for quite some time, started there as a junior. Ended up playing there till his senior years before he went off on his overseas sojourns. Warwick Russell puts this up, puts this through. 7-0 is the early lead here. Minute and 17 seconds into the game. The Ravens lead 7-0 over the Brisbane Rhinos.
Don't think if the Ravens could have drawn up a better start if they tried.
21-14, and just when we get an opportunity, we'll start looking at the SUNBOWLs that have been decided today. Of course, today being right now being the 4th and last SUNBOWL here in 2019 SUNBOWL champions. There we go. This morning's the Stingrays juniors became the second ever junior team to be added to the list of titles. They defeated the Spartans 12-6. And then a resounding win for the Gold Coast Stingrays 48-0 against the Brisbane Rhinos in the Colts division. 18-12. We just saw a thriller in the women's division. The Griffith Uni Thunder finally got the stick over the Ravens. No doubt those two teams will be back at it in years to come. But in the present, the score is 7-0 here. Ravens scoring on their first play from scrimmage. This kick going over the heads of Jeremiah Gates. Now we'll get the first look at the Rhinos offense led out by Brandon Gwinner, who's put together a fantastic season coming over this year. Came from Morrisvale State, where he had 4,240 yards, 34 touchdowns, 17 picks. This year, 37 touchdowns, only 6 picks and 13 rushing touchdowns as well. He also added 2 through the air last week and 2 also on the ground. Would certainly be up there for game MVP. For that game against the Thunder, Thunder made it a fight for the first half before the Rhinos proved their class. First down and 10. Brandon Gwinner has Newport in motion. He'll keep this himself. He's running with vigor, has a good 6 or 7 yard gain there on first down. Worth noting, Phil Newport's on the field. Not even 2-3 weeks ago, I saw that man in a moon boot with a broken foot. He's determined to be part of this championship push.
Yeah, it's incredible that he's out there after the injury, and just back on the replay, that's an excellent pull there by Gridiron.
Second down and 2. Gwinner with 3 receivers to the left. He gives it. No, he keeps it. Thought Gates was going to get his first carry there. Gwinner's done enough for the first down. Strong start so far for the Rhinos offense. Chains taking their sweet time. Trips left. Here goes Gates on his first tote for the day. Grabs about 3, maybe 4. Gates been productive himself. His stats probably don't reflect how good of a back he is, just because the Rhinos got out to so many big leads. They were more than happy to rest him or go to other options for offense. Now he runs out into the flat, and that's where Gwinner will hit him. He cuts back inside 2 Raven defenders, big right foot step, and lowers the shoulder there, getting his Rhinos to the Ravens 42.
Excellent composure there. Gets out into the route, catches the ball, cuts back inside, takes the yards that are on offer and finishes the run off well.
First down, 10. Just under 1,000 yards this season. Out of a 10-game season, that is. First down, shovel pass here to Gates. Gates gets that ball to the Ravens 37.
Great play call there. Pulls the out edge defender into him, shovels underneath. Notice that they're running into the right a fair bit. I think because having Brendan Oswin back in the side certainly helps that offensive line.
Rhinos down 7-0 early, but very quickly on the move. Inside Ravens territory. Second down and 5. Gwinner's keeping it. It's been a large dose of Gwinner here on this opening drive for the Rhinos.
Another first down, and they're driving the ball quite well.
This running game is not having any dramas.
Giving a lot of different looks, pulling guards, pulling tackles, giving plenty for the Ravens to think about.
Last time these two teams met, Ravens won at 34-21. That's the only time this Rhinos team tasted defeat in 2019. Spread formation. That is Jovier in motion. He'll be used as a blocker for Gwinner. Gwinner puts the foot down, and there's a bit of a load to bring down once he starts heading north-south.
Yeah, another great play design there, using the motion, having the running back run out as well gives confusion for the outside defenders on who the contain guy is, and yeah, Gwinner plants his foot and gets upfield.
I'll tell you what, if this has been a distracted lead-up for this team, it's not being reflected on this offense. This
No, not
offense
at all.
is looking tight and ready. Second and 6. Jervier used as an option for Gwinner. Gwinner takes it. He cuts and breaks a tackle of Ebden and gets it down to the Ravens 21.
There's another first down.
Methodic and effective.
Rhinos offense keeps rolling.
Showing just enough variation here. Every time the Ravens think they might have keyed on to Gwinner's running style, they pop in something like that, gets them off guard. They haven't even seen a third down yet.
Yeah, already seeing multiple different plays coming out of the same looks, trying to confuse the defense, and so far it seems to be having good effect.
There it is, Newport lined up on the near side. They give us to Gates. Gates follows some great blocking
Oh, wow.
and rolls his way forward to the 10.
Another Rhinos first down.
Yeah, first down. We'll see how far outside the 10 they are, whether that's going to be first and goal or first and 10. It will be first and goal. This running game, I just had to hazard a guess, is at least 5 yards with the way they're moving the chains.
Oh, easily.
Kent and Cheyenne James, they'll go to the wide side. Phil Newport alone on the left. And the trip side is the way they're going to look. He's got someone in the air.
Oh,
Josh
wow.
Kent caught a touchdown. Last time he was representing the Rhinos in the Sun Bowl. Caught one in the playoffs. Now he catches one in Sun Bowl 35.
Excellent read there by Gwinner. Dropped back, had plenty of time. Drops it over the top of the safety. And Kent's there for the touchdown.
What a display from that Rhinos offense. Two different styles there. The Ravens shoot out quick. They execute within one play. The Rhinos, they run, what, a 12-play drive
Just grind away.
to amazing success. And completely, like, all the composure in the world. Henrik Walters now, Port's leg not quite ready for kicking duties. Walters has been wonderful, though, in his time as the place kicker for the Rhinos. Scores are leveled now with 6:43 remaining in the first quarter. 7-7 our scoreline here, Sunball 35.
Right, certainly been contrasting offense style so far. Obviously, the Rhinos giving, similar looks with multiple plays coming out of, see what the Ravens adjust to. Whereas the Ravens were, looking for those big shots early. So, interesting to see what the Ravens come back with here now.
Josh Kent, late arrival to the team, came around a week 7, I think I can loosely remember, and it looks like he first game they used him sparingly, but then by the following game he was a full-fledged part of that offense. Here goes Mitch Bessie on the return. The first return got them well into Rhinos territory. This time it's Bessie following blocks. Bessie trying to get to the red zone, and Bessie more or less emulating the same return that Warwick Russell did on the first play of the game.
Again, the Ravens special teams giving them outstanding field position inside the red zone this time. Certainly opens up the playbook a fair bit for Stegman, what they do here.
This one gets slightly deeper inside. They're going to get this inside the Rhinos 20. Ball is spotted at the Rhinos 17. Four-set in motion, moving to that trip side. This is the same formation they had on their scoring play earlier. They think they've got a false start. The referees agree. They Keenan Allen has that aura about him that will make offensive lines jump a couple times a game.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 17. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
4-year starter out of Miami, Ohio. Third team All-MAC and his senior year, 1 Defensive Player of the Year. Added to his trophy cabinet with D Lineman of the Year here in Gridiron, Queensland. With that 5-yard penalty, the ball moves out to the Rhinos 22. Quick throw out to Mitch Bessie, his second catch of the day. He's going to be matched up with Cheyenne James. The Cheyenne James matchup was highlighted last year, him versus Tristan Back. I think this has the potential to be a similar sort of excitement between him and Bessie.
Oh, 100%. I think we're going to see the same fireworks. You know, we've got 2 outstanding athletes out there in Bessie and James, so I think we're going to see them feature a lot today.
The main difference is last year it was back on CJ and CJ on back, offensive or defense, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
This one will just exist while Raven are offense. Holiday Miller gets his first carry. Rhinos do a good job bottling him up, but Holiday Miller picks up a couple yards regardless.
The Rhinos defensive front, particularly their defensive line, is super aggressive and very, very good at not only just controlling their gaps, but getting off their blocks, using their hands very well.
One less drum the runners had to worry about. Sam Matautier, his targeting call where he was ejected, got reversed. He is allowed to compete here tonight, and he will be a huge factor on defense. Jack Lowe tempted a potential takeaway there. It was a little too shallow for that pass to be picked off by him. It was intended for Bessie, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. Ravens, this is in their field goal range.
Looks like they're sending out the kicking unit.
And there it is. The kick unit going on. Bessie to hold. Warwick Russell now resuming as their field goal kicker. It was Bessie 2 weeks ago. This kick is up and straight and good. 2 drives, both coming away with points here for the Ravens in this first quarter. The Rhinos will try to best that here on their next possession.
Certainly been the fast start we probably expected for these 2 teams, given the weapons they both have on offense and particularly how good both their lines are. I expect we're probably going to see plenty more of this as the night goes on.
That's a safe bet. And then also another ejection news, the ejection of Carlos Tanksonapati. Also, match review committee reviewed that, deemed he was not fighting in the play in question, so he too is competing here tonight.
Just waiting for the kicking ball.
(10-7). Kickoff getting a set. 17 points already in this first quarter. Still got 5.5 minutes to go. Russell, it's not even Bessie handling kick-off duties, it's Russell as well, but Russell proves to be just as adept to it. This lands 1 yard short of the back of the end zone. No dramas there regarding kick power.
Some impressive leg strength.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, from what we've seen, their place kicking specialist as far as kickoffs, etc., that has been Mitchell Bessie, who has put on quite the display in 2019, and then Russell has been more of the accurate kicker, if you will, and has been there to handle PATs and field goals. But Russell clearly has said, I've got this. Did miss a game or 2 on the back end of the season there with, I think, a lower leg injury. Looks to be back at full strength. 40 lineman for the Ravens. Good protection. Gwinner takes it up, whether that was a design draw or not. It's effective. And the Ravens soon finding out they'll need to find a way to slow down Brandon Gwynner's rushing game.
Yeah, so far he's shown to be extremely dangerous, and the aggression that the Ravens D-line plays with, it's going to creating problems for them if they can't find a way to adjust to that.
Second down, 2 yards to go. Two row receivers out to the right side of the field, also the wide side of the field. I think that's Newport here on the near side numbers. It's a run play to Jeremiah Gates, who leaves the defender behind, has the first down. Whether it's a Gwynner or Gates, both of them finding first downs with ease.
Work rate on that run is outstanding. Like, fights off the first block, keeps his legs moving, finishes off the run, gets an extra couple of yards.
Started this back on their own 20 balls now. On their own 33. 13 yards out of the last two plays. A quick dump off to Gates, trusting him to make some men miss. Runs into the 2019 men's MVP, Chris Clark. He gets him down there, keeping that pass reception to a minimum game.
I think there's somebody's name that we'll be calling a lot tonight. It's Chris Clark. Gets around the field very, very quickly, reads the play of the ball extremely well. That's obviously why he won the MVP.
Well, Chris Clark is one of the first defensive MVP we've had in quite some time. For this league, I think it might be going back to what? Mooney even?
Maybe, yeah, I can't recall.
Most people bet. A lot of quarterbacks, a lot of running backs taking that title. And here goes a Gwynner, found some space, falls forward. That is something that Brandon Gwynner does well. He knows how to fall forward at the end of his run, maximising whatever run he can get.
It's something we notice with the, regardless of the team, but the overseas imports we see come in, just those little differences, like how to fall forward, how to keep legs moving in a run, things like that, how to read a play on defence. Just those little things make big, big differences and helps our league get better as a result of it.
There was a little stigma around imports for a while, but tell you what, the Rhinos, you can't say the average play of the game has gotten better since their inclusion here, along with Coach Booker. That was a pressure throw there, but it's completed. What a grab. Wow. What a throw. Getting underneath that was Josh Kent. Gwynner threw that with tremendous pressure in his face.
That's excellent composure. Steps up, knows he's going to take the hit. Great adjustment by Josh Kent as well to complete that ball.
He gets in front of Dan O'Day. It's another thing you see with experienced quarterbacks, the willingness to just deliver the throw knowing what's coming. They're inside Raven territory now. They're at the Ravens 38. Gates hops and skips to the outside. Wow. Now wrestling with the Ravens linebackers. Flags down though at the Ravens 39.
It's an impressive jump cut there. Try and find extra yards.
I've spoke about it, I think in the playoffs and also in the final weeks of live streaming in the regular season. A lot of people do not expect to see the jump cuts that Jeremiah Gates make for the back of his style. But it's not a trade-off either. He can bully you over and will bully you over.
Yeah.
He just can do
both.
Just
runs so low, because his pad level so low.
Holding. 62 of the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay first down.
The experienced Brendan Osborne, not an import, but provides the same sort of value.
Oh.
Been playing with the the Uppsala 86s. I think it was actually the Rostock Griffiths in Germany.
Yep.
Division 3, no doubt Division 2 is going to come sniffing.
He's got plenty of teams lining up for him at the moment. I'd probably argue, if not the best, one of the top 5 offensive linemen in Australia, easily.
It was only, 3 years ago when he was winning Offensive Lineman of the Year in his rookie season in the men's division. 3 receivers out to the right. Chiam James caps them at the top. Gwynner shuffles right initially, then dumps this off to Jovier. And I think that's Tristan Ellis there who was ready for it. Incomplete. And this is the first time we've seen a bit of a hiccup in this Rhinos offense so far today. Obviously, holding put them in a bit of a hole. Now an incomplete here, second down. This is the first time we'll see them in a bit of a long situation.
Really it's stating the obvious, but in a big game like this, things like holding penalties and just, mental mistakes like that really can kill your momentum, which is, you can't afford it as a quality opposition.
Second down and 20. Empty set. Deep drop for Gwynner, looking to the left. He does find a man underneath who picks up a couple of blocks as Jevier. Nice catch and a run there on the British wide receiver.
Certainly helps make that third down situation now a bit more palatable. Great work by the offensive line too, giving Gridiron so much time there as well.
And this is probably the first time in a little while that we've been able to see both Newport and Gervier on the field at the same time. Both of them picked up injuries towards the back end of the season. Winner on third down. This is their first third down conversion tonight. And they'll trust Gates. Gates rumbles past the first defender. I'm pretty sure he's got it.
I think he's got that, yes. That's a great call on third down.
Look, that's what, at least 2.5 yards after contact?
Yeah.
They know they can get Gates moving, 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Trust him, handle it to the rest. First down and 10. Ball inside the Ravens 30 now. Gwynner will follow the lead block of Gates. Ravens want a flag there. Pete Brewer unhappy with a call there. First time we've seen a bit of chippiness take place. Second down and 6.
So far this run game has just been unstoppable, hasn't it? Alright, so looking at second and let's say about 6 now. Okay. Ravens come out with trips to the right.
On second and 6. Jevier's lined up tight to the line of scrimmage, can run, has a bit of space to move to the outside, and instead they'll use him to motion out to that trip side. Will be used as a speed option. No, Gwynner will take it himself. Tackled there, but not before he gets it inside the 15. In fact, they'll mark him down at the Ravens 13.
Another outstanding read option there. Sticks in the belly, pulls the gets the defender to commit, pulls it out. Gets a good gain.
It's obviously an aspect of their game they didn't have last year. Yeah, with Christian Strong in there, a different type of quarterback.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Christian had a phenomenal arm on him, but yeah, certainly likes to stay in the pocket or maybe to roll out. But he certainly wasn't looking to get downfield like Gridiron does.
Two very different styles. That's the first thing Coach Booker told me is very different quarterbacks, and that they have proved to be. But both have led their teams to the SUNBOWL to impressive records. So just the one blemish on the Rhinos record. 9-1. The Ravens beat them back in round 11, but the Rhinos beat them back in week 4 in a shootout, 47-40, where the DBs for both teams are running for their lives.
It's one of those games where you think the defense stayed on the bus.
There was an injury timeout there. The Raven player now being looked over.
So Brad Ebden, which they'll be keen to get him back out there if he's able to go.
Yeah, he's been one of the biggest improvers for this defense over the last 10 weeks. And looking for Cheyenne James over the middle. He's got him. Cheyenne James with a beautiful route, and Gwynner with a throw on a string, finding James in the back of the end zone.
Nice little rollout. Has plenty of time. Look at that, straight down the seam. hitting Cheyenne James between the defenders.
And look who he beat there, Ben Stokes.
It's no mean feat. And Ben's adjusted very well there.
Ben Stokes also approved by GQ to participate in this game despite a few hiccups. Couldn't stop Cheyenne James there.
In fairness, Cheyenne James is a very difficult customer to stop at the best of times.
He's another player who you can pretty much mark down for a touchdown almost any game here.
Oh, absolutely.
On any given Saturday in GQ. 14-10. We're not even out of the first quarter and we've seen 24 points put up. Again, the Rhinos look formidable. They had the one holding call there. They had the missed pass after that, but otherwise it's been business as scheduled.
Everything's been so clinical for them so far.
The pass rush that the Ravens had against them in games past, well, it seems irrelevant because the Rhinos aren't passing all that much. They're running with Gwinner, and they're wearing this defense out with Gwinner. This kick is high and fielded by Chris Clark. If he can find some open space, there'll be a bit of hope for Birdtown. The Rhinos don't allow that. Ernest Moore and the stop troops, Carper. Also Anthony Hearn there on the special teams unit.
I think going back to what you said about the Ravens pass rush situation, I think that's why we are seeing them run the ball so much, particularly with those read options, because they know how aggressive and how athletic the Ravens front is. They're trying to use that against them at the moment to try and get them to call off the dogs a little bit, so then they can go back to that passing game.
Stegman throwing out to Fawcett. First time he's touched the ball today and making his return to the Rhinos after having to give it up after the first couple of weeks as Sebastian Gorton started the season. Then unfortunately work commitments took over him. He's probably really grateful he had the opportunity to come back after he felt a bunch of emptiness after leaving the title at East last season. He's a proud runner and he's glad to be out there. Second down and 10. Holiday Miller finding some space down the right edge. Finding plenty of space out the numbers now, keeping his feet inbounds long enough to grab what looks like the first down confirmed. First down Ravens.
Good use of speed there by Holiday Miller. An excellent block on the outside there by Russell as well.
All possessions so far, culminating in points. It looks like we might be running into the end of the first quarter. Andrew Coverley gives us the end of the first quarter. Ball raised, 14-10, end of one. We've seen 24 points put up here between the two teams, but the Brisbane Rhinos, they lead 14-10 heading into the second quarter of football. We are seeing some real clean offensive football right now. The Ravens stalled after on their second attempt, kicked a field goal. The Ravens, though, I guess most of their offense has come in the form of kick returns.
Yeah.
Opening return from Warwick Russell got them to the 20. The second follow-up return by Mitchell Bessie got them to the 17. They scored on the first one. Mitchell Bessie had to kick a Warwick Russell field goal the second time round. They're given the Holiday Miller with a bit of space. Jukes past one. Had Gordon on his back, spins out of that tackle. Cheyenne James eventually rides him to the sideline. That's another first down play for the Ravens, this time passing the ball to Holiday Miller.
It's great power running there by Holiday Miller. And as you touched on before, Kenny, with the starting positions earlier with the due to the special teams play, it's good, interesting to see how they go this drive in terms of having to start deeper and seeing how the offense can actually put together a drive, give their defense a bit of a rest, and get some points on the board.
First down and 10. Sam Matauti looks like he's getting some attention on the sideline there. He might be questionable to return. Yana Roop's taking a look at him. First down and 10. Stegman looking left, throws quickly to the left to Fawcett. Nigel Fawcett breaking through a couple tackles. Will get this outside of the red zone. He's someone who's gotten stronger as the season goes on. No surprises this when he moves back to wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. His impact on the game as the years gone on has become stronger. And yeah, you're right. It also does coincide with Holiday Miller coming back into the team at running back, where he's able to then go out to receiver where he's a little bit more natural.
Congratulations to him. I can't remember the team, unfortunately, but he's heading to Europe, I think, in 2020. He's going to play some Euro ball there. The Rhinos almost jump. In fact, the referees, they think he might have jumped. I think our official's audio is still missing there, but I can tell you that signal means a false start. First and 15 now. Force it in motion. Trips right now. Blitz here from the Rhinos. Bessie is between two Rhinos defenders, and Stegman under pressure floats that in to the arms of Mitch Bessie.
Great sideline awareness there by Bessie. Knew where he was in the field, went up for the ball, made sure he got 1 foot down.
Rhinos brought some heat. The protection from the Ravens picked it up nicely. Stegman ended up actually untouched. Whoa. Looks like we might be coming to the booth. The instant replay official wants to look at something.
The previous play is under review at the request of instant replay.
We'll have to wait and see to see what they're looking for. I guess they're confirming the catch. It looks like he got not only one in bounds, but 2 on feet in bounds there. So I don't know if they're just...
Yeah, I mean, my initial take watching it was that he got...
Oh, this is a potential high-low block.
Oh, okay.
We could be looking at a high-low. I think it was Jack Lowe coming across the edge here. Look at the widest Rhinos blitzer here. They're going to have to deem whether he was engaged with Matt Bailey there before Darius Holiday-Miller went for the cut block. You cannot cop block a defender that's already engaged upstairs with a blocker. You're in direct communication now. Discussing what the instant replay, Gary Kendall, instant replay assistant Gary Kendall saw and what he believes. It's one of those situations where they've still got to discuss whether they agree on the call. And usually in the clear-cut situations, it's when someone's in front, but this is a situation where the defender's been beaten.
Yeah.
Depends how they want to apply the law. I think I could understand if they make that a high-low block. As a running back, you've got to be able to diagnose as well if someone's got hands on, and then instead you've got to block them upstairs.
After review, replay has confirmed it's personal foul, chop block. Numbers 3 and 50 on the offense. That'll be a 15-yard penalty, assessed from the 26-yard line. The previous play was first with 5 yards to gain. This one will be first and 20.
On the ball there, and that is confirmed. Jack Lowe coming across the edge is engaged with Matt Bailey over the top, and then Darius Holiday-Miller takes his legs out. That is a no-no.
Absolutely. That's a real drive killer.
And that's a safety issue there. That's to make sure that people keep their ACLs, PCLs, and all other CLs. Ravens were in fantastic field position, and now they're in one hell of a hole. As a matter of fact, they're 4 yards away from halfway. Chain crew having a bit of a time trying to figure out where they're supposed to be. Sadie Singh, I think, is our sideline judge on that side. First and 20. The receivers out to the right, Holiday-Miller in the backfield, and I think that's Mitch Bessie down the left. Quick throw to force it, shooting through though.
Wow.
Is that Carper or Snag? Getting in real quick, diagnosing that play very quickly and shutting it down.
He's just sitting and then he flows downhill so quickly. Look at that.
It is Tyson Snag, the young Colt. Model of consistency in this Rhinos backfield. Former Thunder product, now wearing red and black for the Brisbane Rhinos. Second down now. They're in a hole. Bessie. He was not looking. It's work. Russell in behind the defense. Stegman. And Russell getting the Ravens back inside the 10. Russell's down at the 5.
Great work by Stegman here. Recognised the blitz coming up the middle there. Knew he had help there. Shuffles out to the side to buy himself some time and get Russell open over the top.
I want to measure of revenge for the Ravens offense on Snag there. He blew up the last play, then they go attack him this play. He gets beaten for a big gain through the air. Ravens now back inside the red zone, 5 yards away from taking the lead back. Holiday-Miller keeps it high, gets through. Waltzes through a mighty gap on the left edge. The Ravens are back in the lead. 16-14 PAT to come. We are going to see some points tonight.
Oh, absolutely. So good awareness there. They've got the 2x2, but the two on the play side quite close into the edge of the line there. And Darius has just been able to read what's happened up front well, bounces it outside, knows he's got the help there in terms of the receivers, and goes in almost untouched.
Terry O'Neill on the edge. He does a good job of getting contained, but then the gap from him to the next guy, far too big.
And Barley's done a great job sealing him out there.
No line doing their job.
Okay, we've got a flag on the field.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still extra point.
Okay, so delay of game there, so now pushes the kick back a few yards. So looks like we've got Bessie holding and Russell for the kick. Good snap, ball's up and no good. Pushes it wide.
There we go. I saw a Rhino. I think it was Jack Lowe there celebrating very early. He knew he got that kick offline. And you can see Bessie there talking across. We might need to change the next time that comes along. 16-14. The lead still belongs to the Ravens, but it's now 2 points, not 3.
Well, the Ravens have had Tim O'Donnell there for the last couple of weeks helping them out. They're doing a lot of work with them on their special teams, particularly their field goal and their long snapping. So he'll certainly be looking to adjust that on the sideline and find out what went wrong.
Tim O'Donnell, a Raven back in 2010, 11, 12 before finding his way over to, I think it was JUCO first, and then he found himself to a Div 1 college as a long snapper. New Mexico, was it?
Yeah, that New Mexico Div 1. He did, I think he was at Butte College, I think it was.
Butte College.
His JUCO.
And then the New Mexico Aggies had him for 4 years on their roster as their long snapper.
So there's a pretty cool video online of him snapping the ball from the grandstand into a rubbish bin on the field.
Those long snappers in their videos. But still a passionate Raven. You know, he was checking in all the way throughout his time, not only on the Ravens, but GQ as a total.
Yep.
You know, he's touched base with me just to make sure he saw what was what a couple of times during that period. And here he is again, heading back to the Ravens. Even when it's a situation where a lot of the players he played with no longer are there.
Yeah.
Chasing here, this could be some damage here for Kent. And Kent gets this pack to the 20, and Coach Hollywood was just messaging me again there in disbelief that it was Josh Kent. Obviously he missed a lot of Kent's return there, but Josh Kent, the former Recepticon.
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He's one of the original Bears.
That's it. A lot of these former teammates now on the field, not necessarily in the same colours though. Jared Stegman, former Rhino, was throwing to his former Recepticon then in Josh Kent, but now he's throwing to Mitch Mabessi and throwing against Kent. Kyle Bopitz, no longer in the league. He might make a return one day. He was playing for the Stingrays after the Logan City program disbanded. Timeout now for the Rhinos. I think they had a plan. It wasn't quite coming together. They'll take their first time out of the half.
Timeout. Offense. First of the half.
I think, right, it's great to see these guys who have been over the seas and got that experience coming back and going back to the original clubs and helping out. So guys like Tim O'Donnell over at the Ravens, and we talked about Brendan Oswald before, who's played 2 years over in Europe now, coming back here and helping these guys out. It just helps raise the quality of the game in Australia.
And that should be the goal. I don't think I'm being too much of a realist here, when the reality is not everyone's going to move on to NFL careers. In fact, I think the maths might just support me on that. But there's going to be a lot of people who'll be in and out, living their football career as playing in Europe and in Canada and all the other leagues around the world, where they'll end up having to come back to Australia at different times. And we certainly hope what they learn abroad they bring back and help enrich our sport back here where they all started.
No, absolutely. And I think we're starting to see that, because when we talked about it earlier, Kenny, the quality of the game in Queensland has risen so much over the last sort of 8 to 10 years.
Talk about Lance Tongan-Kilo, another one who came back. Cerritos College. Gwinner, pump fakes, and he's got Jovier open. Well-designed play there. Jovier's still pumping along. He'll actually earn a couple more yards. That'll take him inside Raven territory. They'd thrown that flat pass to Gates a number of times in the first quarter. That time they fake it to him and get downfield.
It goes back to something we touched on in the Women's SUNBOWL, Kenny, which some of the viewers may not have seen, was talking about sticking to some of those smaller, more intermittent plays earlier in the game to set up these sorts of things later on, and that's a prime example of that.
Gates run after the catchability. We just saw it was great on that back angle there. Chris Clark had to flow to that side, which left an extra 5-6 yards of space underneath for Jovier to get open. They run here with Gwinner on the ensuing first down. Another successful game there. He's not showing any signs of slowing down here in the second quarter.
That's still setting them up as well in terms of with those read option plays. Gwinner keeps running the ball and keeps doing what he's doing there. It's opening up the ability then, when they do give the ball, people start selling out on the QB. A bit like last year's SUNBOWL when Tommy Corwin was doing the same thing. He was give, and then in the second half he kept keeping it because everyone was biting so hard on the run game.
Yes, sir. And of course, the situation would be the reverse. Again, this one batted down at the line. That's young Jack Capewell getting his fingertips to the ball to disrupt that flight pattern. But even then, a nice little shoulder shrug there from Gwinner, because he knows the power of Gates' production. That Ravens defense, as soon as they see any sniff, Gates getting the ball, they're flowing his direction.
Well, I think Coach Booker will like what he saw there. Yeah, okay. Campbell made a great play, and he's a fantastic athlete as a defensive end. He can do everything. But they would have liked what they saw in front of them there in terms of they'll go back to the well there later on.
8:23 remaining in the first half. Spread formation here for the Rhinos on third down. They've been good on third down so far. Haven't had to punt. They give it to Gates on third down. That's twice now on 3rd and 4 or more. They've trusted Gates to pound the rock. Obviously, for those who watch the NFL or even collegiate football, not always the case where you'll happily go to your running back multiple times on 3rd and medium or 3rd and long situations. More than happy to with the matchup presented to them today.
Yeah, so I think in that situation, you can say the Rhinos probably seen something they like on film. A combination of the aggression of the Ravens front and probably having a lot of faith in their interior line as well.
Again, another spread formation. Power run here. Gates follows his blocks. Oh, great job by the Rhinos offensive line. He lowers his shoulder into Chris Clark. Gates, the gas tank is full, but how about them pulls there from the offensive line at the point of attack?
Yeah, done a great job. Good ball carrier vision there. Follows the ball outside, and then the way he finishes his run, like when he gets north-south here, look at this. Chris Clark goes in there like the tackle, and Chris Clark can hit, and he just bounces straight off him.
Brendan Oswin there getting the seal on Jason Leon
to
allow his pulling guards to get around him. Trips left. Newport on his own, but Gwinner will take this forward, and dare I say it, that might be his shortest run of the night. Jason Leon makes that tackle, and
it looks like he's hurt himself.
Yeah, he immediately signaled for a substitution, then probably made the decision he couldn't make the sideline, went down to a knee real quick, and that makes the officials take an injury timeout. He's done something to his elbow.
Yeah, elbow or shoulder by the looks of it, way he's holding it. It doesn't look good.
I'm going to take a short break for the injury timeout, but Jason Leon, stalwart for the Ravens, the most capped player on this Ravens lineup. In fact, the Ravens first made the Sun Bowl in the senior level in 2010. They lost against the Wildcats. That title since then has been vacated. Jason Leon is the last remaining player from that 2010 team that made it, if we don't include Timmy O'Donnell on the sideline.
Wow. I knew he'd been around that a while. I didn't know he's that old.
The next closest is Matt Bailey, but he came in 2012. Probably a couple players did, in fact. But yeah, no one else existing from 2010. Darius Holland-Miller was in the league. He was either taking a year off or was playing for the Western Cougars at that time.
Darius was?
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, you have other people have their former club histories as well, Mr. Former Wildcat.
No comment.
3 receivers out to the left. Second down. Ball's at the Ravens 12. Gwinner has got thrown 2 touchdowns tonight. Oh. Look at that space. You're not going to stop him, or will they? Oh. They do. I thought for certain with a full head of steam that Gwinner was going to bowl over there for 6. He gets stopped 2 yards short. That is the initial contact flying through there is Jaron Hugadog. Jaron, I should say.
Chris Clark coming in to make sure that he gets him out of bounds. That's great awareness and great running there by Gridiron.
That's how Gwinner scored against the Thunder 2 weeks ago. Found space down that right hand.
Yeah, very similar, wasn't it?
Jervier in motion, runs behind them. And, what balance there. I thought he was going to scamper his way past the goal line, but nevertheless, balanced by the big man. That's Pete Brewer. In fact, coming over the top to finish the tackle there is Andrew Big Kid Davis, I think. Yes, it was. I could argue that Gates might have had it in him to keep his balance to get the goal.
Yeah, he's probably one more step away from getting that in.
A reach of the ball, perhaps. And I want to correct himself, Andrew BK, his nickname Big Kid, not Big Baby, as I called him 2 weeks ago. Chevier in motion again. They refuse to go to him again. Why? Because Gwynner can do this on his own. Wasn't even touched 2 yards out. Says a word or two to the Redcliffe Dolphins Leagues Club. Gwynner's in for his 3rd touchdown tonight. The Rhinos yet to turn this ball over without scoring points.
This is an incredible performance we're seeing so far from Gwynner. Look, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the performance we saw, you texted me what year it was now, maybe 2012, 2013 from Matt Bassonell when he was at the Stingrays.
Yeah, again, probably slightly different quarterbacks. Bassonell, very effective through the air. This PAT is successful. But also a depth of just getting the yards he needed.
Yeah. So this again, it's a great, defense bites very hard on the running back, as you would in, an end goal situation. Gridiron just pulls that, sees the wide open gap there and walks it in. So giving the Rhinos back the lead, 21-16. Round just past mid-second quarter. We'll see what the Ravens special teams can do here against the Rhinos, as they've shown so far tonight. They've been fairly effective.
21 points to 16. It has been tit for tat. The one variation is the Rhinos managed to stall the Ravens on their second drive, forcing them to kick a field goal. Also on that, Ravens missed their last PAT as well. So the there's certainly imperfections on the Ravens side. You want to argue about performance, the Rhinos are... If this was a boxing match, it's close, but the Rhinos are taking this first round 10-9.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the second quarter, I'll tell you what, they're probably looking at taking the second round 10-9 too.
The execution's been very clinical, very clean.
Enrique Walters with his left foot clearing all of the Ravens, getting into the end zone. Touch back, Ravens will set up shop at their own 20.
It's probably the longest field they've been set so far tonight.
Yeah, well, the last 2 times the Ravens been on the ball, they've kept that ball in bounds, because admittedly there in the first quarter they were kicking into the wind, it would appear. And the Ravens got a free sort of buoy into the Rhinos side of the field with kick returns. This time is the first time they'll have to actually work the full field here, and let's see if they've got as many plays in the bag as the Rhinos have proven to have. Rhinos haven't broken a huge play yet. Their longest play has probably been about 20 yards, and that was a touchdown strike.
Execution's just been outstanding, that's all.
Fake it here, force set. Tries to beat the first defender. Great tackle in the open field. Emmanuel Copper flags down, though, around the middle of the field at the 23.
Suspiciously in the holding area.
Couldn't see anything on that angle. Does come in late.
Personal foul, face mask, number 3 on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
Couldn't see any of there. Jack Lowe's not touching anyone. By the end of that play there.
Yeah, so whoever, I think, towards the end of the play, whoever was taken up with Tank Center Party, I think, had hands in the face, because after they released, he turned to the ref, signalling that something was wrong.
Well, 15 yards there. That gets them up to their own 39. Holiday Miller swallowed up by a sea of red. No space for him. He's tackled by his opposite number. The man who was just pinged with a penalty makes up for it there with a tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Certainly one way to get yourself back in the coach's good books.
And both Jack Lowe's getting in there. Of course, 2 Jack Lowe's on this roster. One with a knee, one without. Number 3 being Jack L-O-W, 43 L-O-E-W. Line of scrimmage now sits at the Ravens 36. Three receivers out to the right. They need 2nd and 10 or more. Bessie grabs that at full extension. Won't have the first, but this 3rd down conversion just got a whole lot easier.
Stegman stood in the pocket there, knew he was going to take the leak. Still delivers a perfect strike to Bessie.
And there's also Akeem Allen there, one of the hardest, heaviest hitters in the team.
His speed off the ball and use of hands is like nothing we've seen in this league before.
I bet. Amongst the best double team handlers as well. 3rd down. 3 yards to go here for Bayside. Do they want the screen? No, they'll go deep for Russell, who's open.
Wow.
They found a conflict on a deep defender. Russell, can he fight his way into the end zone? No, he will eventually be suplexed to the turf at the 5. Great patience there from Stegman. You can see he had to fight the urge to take the easy play there. Waited, developed. Found one defender trying to defend 2 receivers and found the more open of the 2.
Nice tackle at the end there by Walters too.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. He fought quite hard to, a lot of players would give up on that thinking they'd been beaten, so credit to him.
You're watching an absolute tennis match here in the first half. SUNBOWL 35. Back and forth scoring, no turnover as of yet. They're in the wild bird. Holiday Miller gets the direct snap. Holiday Miller's going to go in with a clean jersey. Great blocking up front, great play design. And again, we see a changing of the leader here. In half number 1, the Ravens retake the lead.
Great block there by Forsett on the edge. It really did spring that open for Darius as well. So I think Bessie as well was in there. Yeah, Bessie blocks 2 players there. That's outstanding. And Ravens take back the lead with a chance to extend it here with the extra point. And we've got a timeout to the Ravens.
Wow. All the times, that's what they want to choose to use that timeout?
No, they're looking to go for 2.
Well, think about it. They have their last PAT blocked.
Give them a 3-point lead, although I think it's probably a little bit early in the game to be thinking of those.
Yeah, right now, just do whatever that just keeps you in the motion of success right now. There was a Ravens timeout?
Yes.
2 remaining by my count. The Rhinos are the same. So there's Andrew Stock as well. Richard Prater. They've changed their mind. They're going to try and get things back in order. They'll have a 2-point lead with a PAT. They said, why not go for 2? Let's make this a field goal difference. Holiday Miller's in at quarterback in this wild bird bunch. He gets the outside. They more or less try to run the outside. Now he's going back the other way. The pursuit angles is looking good. Now he throws the football. Don't tell me that was planned. What the deuce? There is no way Holiday Miller had that planned. The team was aware and he's just thrown a 2-point conversion after running for his life. Wow. Wow.
I think that's it. I think we've officially seen it all now.
Oh, there's more to come, but... Well, I don't know. Maybe they've obviously practiced what if something goes wrong in that play, what to do. Because you can see immediately the backside receiver's looking to get open. Darius Holiday immediately moves that hand to his throwing arm. So I'm not going to say that was designed, let's get stuffed on the left side, throw it back to the right. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had practiced what to do if that play gets blown up. 24-21 following that 2-point conversion. My lord.
And who would have thought Holiday Miller could throw the football?
Not the first time in his football career was asked to do so as a junior. Kind of gave it away when he took off his right glove. But also on top of that, it was a playoff game in his junior days with the Bayside Ravens, 2008, if memory serves correctly. Had to step in at quarterback. And they had a whole, Coach Box had a whole design for him. He had to throw the football involved with that. A broken tackle here on the kick return. The Rhinos offense returns after that Ravens excitement. At the 31, they will start.
I think from here the Rhinos will be looking to what's... I thought we had a flag, no we don't.
It's first down and 10. Just based on recent history, the Rhinos will end with nothing more than a touchdown. Oh, Gates! Looking like Randy Moss out there, or hell, looking like Antonio Gates out there. Sans Antonio Gates' hands. Just had Jeremiah's hands there, unfortunately, and Jeremiah looks to the heavens and says, please let me get it next time.
That was excellent protection provided by the line there. Greener had all day.
Into the second, yeah, you're right, great protection. Into the second quarter, we're still seeing new stuff here from the Rhinos. Yeah. They split Gates out wide there and have him run a route. He gets the inside leverage on his corner and was ready to go had he brought that in. Second down and 10. Jervier in motion. He's done a lot of that tonight. This time they just hand it to Gates, and like I said earlier about Gwynner, that might be one of his shorter runs tonight from inside the 20s. And Darius Holiday-Miller, you see the man there on screen, just threw his first ever 2-point conversion. Good luck trying to get a smile out of him. He's in game mode right now.
I can tell you now, he's intentionally avoiding the camera at all costs.
The smile there comes from Mitch Bessie. He knows how ridiculous that play was. Third down here for the Rhinos. Last 3 times there's been third down. Last 2 times there's been third downs of 5 or more. They've handed off the Gates. That trend continues. And so will the trend of him converting it. He gets this inside the Ravens 40. What a success rate they have now on third and long. By this time, if I'm noticing the trend, the Ravens are noticing the trend, and they can't stop it.
I didn't see who it was. It was the pulling lineman who got downfield. Oh, Osman, of course.
Osman making the initial block, though. Jordan Moko, the young Colt, had a rough time in the playoffs on some of the RPO offenses getting downfield. Right now, looking right in line and right in sync with the rest of his offensive line. First down and 10. Gwynner with no protection by his offensive line. He completes the pass to Jervier. Jervier trying to get past O'Day. O'Day grabs him from behind before he can convert. Another solid gain on first down, though. More on Moko. Recent commit to Snow College.
Oh, really?
That pipeline continues. Most recent alum from that, Tristan Back, did 1 season. Felt he'd done everything he needed to do in college football. Returned to Australia. Before that, we also had Elijah Sinapati
was there, yep.
at Snow College for a period. There's been a couple of Australians.
I'm not sure, did Dylan Harrison go there as well at the same time as Elijah? I know they both went to Bowling Green together.
I think he might have committed. Whether he actually went is another story. He ended up going to Bowling Green.
Fisher's timeout. That's the 2-minute warning.
Right now, this game is being built up to be everything it was meant to be. And it is an offensive onslaught. Let's bring back the memory of week 4, 47-40. This game looks like it's built of the same material. 3 receivers out to the right. Chiam James has been a bit quiet lately. Jervier gets this catch. Perfect hands on the play. Splits the defenders and gets this to the Ravens 20 or the 21. They will mark him. The Rhinos progress to just outside of the red zone.
That's a question for you, Kenny. What is the record for the most combined points in a SUNBOWL?
81 points.
Oh, look at you go.
Believe it or not. And it's not what you're thinking. The 63-6.
No, that was only 72, wasn't it?
No, we are looking and much further there. More on that in a second. First down and 10 from the Ravens 21. The Rhinos looking to continue their perfect game on offense so far. Gwynner drops the shoulder there on Brudrick, and this gets them inside the 15. Didn't want to say it. I wanted to save it for a little later, but I guess the way these two offenses are humming, it is irrelevant now. Looking back at the history of SUNBOWLs, the highest scoring one was 81 points back in 1990, well before a lot of these players were even born. That was SUNBOWL 6 between the Wang Warriors, the now defunct Wang Warriors, and the Westside Centurions, also defunct, but plenty of those Centurions still floating around the league.
Oh, absolutely.
But the Centurions is part of the charity bowl teams that are formed there. 44 seconds left on the clock. We've got a delay here. Referee's called timeout.
Timeout. Defense. They're second of the half.
The Ravens called a timeout. One remaining for them.
I think right now the Rhinos will be happy with how things are rolling here. You know, they don't want to lose too much time on the clock to give the Ravens another shot, given their big play potential. And so far, you know, for the first half, their offense has moved the ball very well. So you can continue to run the clock down and back yourself into score here.
Just going on that collegiate chat we had earlier, we're talking about Bowling Green, we talked Jordan Merker getting the offer at Snow, talked about the Bowling Green. Right now, Jack Lowe is fielding Div 1 offers. His most recent, or at least his one so far, is from William and Mary. That's a Div 1 college in Virginia.
Yeah.
You know how young that lad is? Impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Thank you to John Root there for providing me the accurate information on that. Knew it was a Div 1 offer. I wasn't completely confident in which university it was, but William and Mary. If he chooses to go there, they'll be getting one heck of a football player. Gwynner looked downfield for a little bit, decided to truck forward. Eventually Ben Stokes, his opposite number, takes him down. 12 tackling 12 at the 12.
Yeah, excellent form tackle there by Stokes. Read the play really well. Flows down hard to fill that gap. Look at that.
Are we not going to acknowledge the beauty of that number sequence there?
The 12 at 12.
Timeout. Offense. They're second of the half.
For a second, they're going to tell me there was 12 seconds left on the clock, and I'll tell you it's a sign. Get my lottery numbers in. 26 seconds remaining. That's the Rhinos taking their second timeout. Both teams left with one timeout now. Fourth down. This is the first time the Rhinos have been pushed all the way to fourth down. They're inches away, and should they fail to get this will be the first time their offense has stalled in this half of football.
And good luck trying to work out what they're going to do here.
They could do anything.
Yeah, correct.
The running game's looking strong. They're averaging well over a yard. No dramas there. Their passing game's looking all right as well. The question is, you're the Ravens. How do you choose to defend this? Do you sell out, try to prevent the run? They're happy to run on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10. You think logic would dictate they'll just allow Gates just to plow forward
swing
here.
passes have looked very dangerous.
But this is also a perfect time for play action. Jervier in motion in front of the face. They'll go to their trusted man. The Ravens sell out to it, and they might have denied the Ravens might have denied the Rhinos for the first time tonight. The Rhinos went to Old Faithful, and the Ravens banked on that. Condensed, got in there, and beautiful pictures provided there from our roaming camera. I think that's Brad on the field cam at the moment. Wonderful pictures provided to you here for live streaming Brisbane.
Big stop there by the Ravens.
It's a huge stop. They needed that for themselves to prove they could hold them out. As I said, that Rhinos offense tonight looking formidable until that very moment.
You're right, it's something they can take into half time and be like, hey, you know what, we can stop these guys. We can do, you know.
On top of that, they stopped them to give themselves the lead going into the half. That is a huge mental win, provided they don't do anything silly here in the next 19 seconds. James backs off real late. And they'll go deep for Warwick. Russell's underneath it, but he can't bring it in. He got both of his hands. He'd beaten Jervier. But
with a flag.
I'm going to say he lost it in the lights. He thought too long about it, but the usual sure hands of Warwick Russell there, they let him down. Keem Allen beating the double team again. That's another great shot there from our field guy. Brad again, 2 times on the one drive.
Yeah.
Clearly looking to get
Offsides.
raised here at live stream.
43 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Offside there. As you saw, Chime Gems bailed late. They tried some sort of exotic blitz there that would be disguised there, but instead, what was an incomplete pass, which could have been huge, ends up in a 5-yard gain for them to restart at first down. Holiday Miller, no. Stegman keeps it for the first time tonight and gets punished for it. Strong tackle there. I think it was Jack Lowe, OEW, making the tackle there.
Timeout. Offense. 3rd and final.
Okay, so got the Ravens taking a timeout there.
That's their 3rd and final.
So they want to take one more shot before the end of the half.
7 seconds. Well, trick plays are in play here now, but it's one of those situations where the runner is just going to be backed up. You might want to save that to sometime in the second half. You might just want to dial up your best deep play here. Some sort of coverage beater. Mills, smashes, all things that work to get someone open deep. Rhinos saw them 4 deep. The line of scrimmage is at the Ravens 22. We've got 4 Rhinos defenders at least 10 yards clear of that. Chime James, and I think it might even be Kent back there. Now Chime James pushes up a little bit closer. So plenty of deep defenders. 7 seconds remaining in half number 1. Stegman throws short to Holiday Miller. They'll go with a safe play of going to the screen, seeing if he can pop for more. Nice open field tackle there by Jovier, and that should see us to halftime. A nice up around the chops. Completely legal in our code of football. Hang on, our clock might have been a little out of sync there, because I guess they're saying
they're still going.
Holiday Miller must have got out of bounds. No timeouts there. The Ravens have 1 play here. They're on their own 34. And now the Rhinos want to take a timeout. I'm just going to reassure all their defensive backs.
Timeout. Defense. 3rd and final.
One of those situations. Call a timeout for 2 reasons. You're either reassuring your back 4 to make sure they understand you do not get beaten deep, or you're dialing up some sort of unique blitz.
Could be both.
Indeed, and just coming to the sideline now. Obviously, they're getting the pass rushes on. Joe Tulmavave, big Joe Tulmavave, coming to the field, big number 99. We talked about Jason Neal being the last person on that 2010 Ravens team. Joe Tulmavave is the last player on this Rhino squad who was there in the 2005 title. The first and last time the Rhinos took home the silver in the senior division.
Do remember that game quite well.
I bet you do. He's hoping to go out a victor here on his 3rd time round on the retirement comeback.
He's retired almost as many times as Chris Mooney did.
He's getting up there. Now this, with 1 second officially left on the clock, barring a penalty, should be the last play of the half. 4 wide receivers. 2 either side of the line. They'll pitch it to Holiday Miller. Holiday Miller, halfback pass. The Rhinos aren't fooled by it though. Incomplete. No one wanted to bite on that run. That's the 2nd time Holiday Miller's thrown a pass tonight. Already tying his career record. The Rhinos defenders stayed deep, and that means our current score will stay as our halftime score. The Ravens with a big goal line or red zone stop a couple minutes ago gave them the lead heading into halftime. 24-21, SUNBOWL 35. You're watching SUNBOWL 35 here on the live streaming. Brisbane here for Gridiron, Queensland. Kenny Andres, Adam Bolton, back on the other side of halftime. And here we go. The Ravens getting both of the kickoffs because the Rhinos won the toss and elected to choose the wind. Mitchell Bessie trying to match his effort from half number one. Not quite to the same effect. It does get them inside Rhino territory though.
Again, that's really been the story for the Ravens on offense, but it's been the field position they're getting set up with on special teams.
You're right, those first two offensive drives, they didn't have to do a whole lot.
Illegal block in the back, number 92 of the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
There's a name I haven't had to say yet that I've usually been saying on repeat in games during the regular season. Adoniel Thompson, saying his name though for the wrong reasons. Block in the back, and that'll move this long kick return back into their own territory, and the Rhinos thus forcing the Ravens to work from well inside their own 20.
Be a real momentum killer. If you had a great return like that, that's had to come back as a result of something like that. That's really can be hard to overcome.
Holiday Miller with his first touch of the second half. Stiff arm to Chiam James. That's no easy feat. He's still ruining defenders and getting past halfway.
I think the biggest hit he took there was from texting a party at the end of the play.
What a run.
Wow. Big stiff arm there, don't argue. Another one.
Jervier, Hearn, Chiam James. These are some top flight athletes he was getting rid of on that run.
Stiff arms, he's like Dusty Martin. That's an outstanding run there, and good work by the offensive line as well. I think the Ravens' offensive line's been surprising this year, given the fact that they lost to guys like AVB and Matt Ole this year. Obviously, Andrew's come back and has fitted in quite well. Really haven't missed a beat though with that Matt Ole though.
Not at all. Not one bit.
What's going on here?
Hang on, we've got an injured
Oh, we've got an
player
injured player over the far
on the far
side.
side. Didn't see there amongst a couple of the staff members. It's a Rhino down on the Ravens sideline.
Can't make out who that is.
Might be double-digit numbers. It's one of the linemen. It's not Joe. It's Joe Tuamavave. We just talked about earlier how he is the most seasoned of the players. Given Matt Neal left this year. Last year, I should say, end of last year. And he's not moving and has got a number of staff around him to make sure he's okay. Graham Spur out there, Coach Booker checking over his senior member. There's Tim O'Donnell, who we were talking about earlier. From New Mexico Aggie. Long snapper, and now he's gotten to his feet and looks like he's walking back to the Rhino sideline with some sort of level of comfort there, but he's holding onto his head or his shoulder perhaps. And hopefully we'll get a little more information on that later, but he's going to have to take a series or two off.
Hopefully he can return, because that's a big loss to that rotation for those defensive linemen.
We'll get further attention now on his own sideline. First down and 10. Trips right. Warwick Russell, who's been dangerous downfield. Outside there, and I think we've got a false start. Looks like Matt Bailey might have moved that a little bit too early.
I was down at the Ravens practice on Monday night, just doing a little bit of help with their O-line and just in general at practice. And this was something that Holiday Miller, Stegman and Tim O'Donnell were just drilling around on, with the ability to change up the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start, numbers 50 and 77. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Carefully feeling savage calling out 2 players by number. False start moves him back 5 yards. Formation stays the same. Holiday Miller gets his second pill of the second half. And that gets it smack bang on halfway. Halfway being obviously the 45. Furthermore, to update those who might be watching interstate for the first time, 90-yard fields here in Gridiron, Queensland, due to most of them playing on rugby league fields, which features the goalpost in the field of play. Therefore, to move them to the back of the end zone, we play on 90-yard fields to make sure we still keep regulation end zones. Stegman buys himself some time before he finds Forsett. He tries to shake Jervier. Jervier sticks with him long enough for Jack Lowe to come and take him in from the inside.
Good roll out here by Stegman. Sees where the pressure's coming around. Makes some room.
Also Timmy Reynolds there, who's had some experience overseas playing at tackle. But he's an all-round athlete, now playing at defensive end as well for the Rhinos. Got around that edge pretty quick there.
There's another guy who had come back from overseas that's helped up this Rhinos O-line significantly.
I think the Rhinos owe a lot to Timmy Reynolds. He's certainly committed to him as soon as he got back and has been nothing but helpful. Not only to the Rhinos, but to Queensland. Darius Holiday Miller making people slide over, breaking ankles left and right. And it gets this inside the Rhinos red zone.
It's great vision there by Holiday Miller. Just knowing where his lanes are.
He's one of the most experienced backs in the country. Reads his gaps, cuts back to the eventual A gap there.
He just works so hard at what he does. Like, you know, he turns out to practice an hour early to do his own stretches and warm-ups and stuff before then doing the team stretches and warm-ups as well.
Just inside the 20. Ravens spread formation. Liam Edwards in the right slot. Stegman starts left, now has to take off. He'll show off that he's also a running quarterback. Uses the left arm to keep Jervier at bay and keeps it to get the Ravens inside the 10. Gets it all the way down to the Rhinos 7, it looks.
Something that's quite deceptive about Stegman, because he does like stay in the pocket a lot, or rolls out and stays at home and tends to throw the ball a lot more. Yeah, people underestimate how well he can run the football when he's given the opportunity.
He certainly probably doesn't run as much as he used to.
No.
And they don't really design a whole lot of plays around him running anymore, but they do feature 1 or 2. Holiday Miller lowers the pad level, tries to get forward. It's a good job there from the D-line to just condense the gaps. Gets him a little bit closer here, 2nd and goal. No surprises who's at the bottom of that pile. It was big Keenan Allen. Look at this shot from the end zone. You just see the way Allen and Reynolds and the hand placement at the line. Bessie's got the corner. James comes over late, but it's not enough. Mitchell Bessie for his 2nd touchdown tonight on the corner route. Now he has to go run and grab the ball he threw away.
That's a perfectly thrown ball by Stegman there. There's 2 options. That's either caught or it's incomplete. He's thrown that, lobbed it nice and high, gets it over the secondary. And Bessie makes one hell of a catch there too.
James with that make-up speed, almost getting there.
Said we'd see a bit of that that matchup tonight.
30 points now. The BAT is up and good. And we've got our first 2-possession lead of the game from either team. 10 points the difference, 31-21. There's the end zone shot of that. It's a one-hander there from Mitch Bessie. All in the right hand. Cradles that like a baby. Makes sense. He is a new father.
I think Coach Hollywood Rowe will be sitting at home, be quite proud of that, being one of his Recepticons and Air Force and whatever else he's had in his time with the Australian squad. Be interesting to see here how the Rhinos offense now replies, as you mentioned, Kenny, as a two-score game. Do the Rhinos stick to what they were doing in terms of just a clinical rolling the ball downfield, a lot of players taking a lot of time off the clock, or do they start taking some shots and do they sort of, speed things up a little bit? Still got plenty of time on their side. Hang on, we've just let the ball fall off the tee. Awkward. So we'll bring this one back and try again.
That's an NFL shot right there. And he was wasted on a kick like that.
The fresh area. That wasn't one for the brand, that's for sure. Oh, I guess it's a better effort by Bessie. So Bessie back doing the kicking duties now.
Just rotating through, I suppose. The Rhinos. They'll resume at the 20. Opening possession from the Ravens started with a huge, exciting, and electrifying run from Holiday Miller down the left-hand sideline.
Yeah.
Actually finished off with a 7-yard touchdown pass from Stegman to Bessie. 2 passing touchdowns for the Ravens tonight. Feature both of those players. Rhinos now working on their 3-touchdown score. They got going in the first half.
Be interesting what adjustments the Ravens have made here, given what they saw in the first half.
4 down linemen for the Ravens, and now it's Jovier continuing the motion. Man, it does its job because Gwynna finds plenty of softness underneath. And a late flag.
I think it might be taunting. It's a great read by Gwynna though.
Sure what the penalty could be. It's against the Rhinos.
Okay.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 75 of the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, be second down.
I don't know if I'm blind or if I
Correction,
see behind those
that'll be half distance.
Away from the play. I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, it was.
Usually, one of the tackle positions, I think it was.
So you watch it out here.
Look,
Yeah,
I don't want to take that out of a man trying to get downfield and make him blocks,
No.
but you need to just listen for the whistle.
yeah.
A bit unlucky there.
It's a tough call, but let's move on from that.
Yeah, I think that is a bit tough.
Or shovel pass from Grinner.
And the Ravens keep Gates under control there on that second down run. They'll need something big here on third down. This will be a test of their faith in Gates here. The longest they've run him here, I think, was 3rd and 10, and they converted. We're looking at 3rd and 14 now. A long 14.
You wouldn't think they'd go back to him again, surely.
Gates is in the backfield. 3 receivers out to the right. They'll won't use Gates this time. They'll go downfield. Under pressure is Gwynna. He fumbles it. Knees on the ground when he collects it. Flags are also down. That came around the same time Gwynna lost the ball here. That'll be interesting to see what this penalty is for.
Well, hands to the face. Okay, I'll see it from that angle.
Personal foul, face mask, number 92 on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
And Neil Thompson, who got around for the sack, did so illegally, grabbing a face mask on his way. And a I could only assume it was Jordan Mocha there. He immediately signals to the official, is tapping his face whilst there, so the official happy to comply. That's the way he saw it as well. And all of a sudden, 15 yards. Oh, hold the phone. Thought for a second there might have been some intervention, not the case. I think it's just a timeout.
The Ravens are challenging the ruling of defensive face mask.
Once again, because this penalty resulted in a 15-yard, or was a 15-yard penalty, it is eligible to be reviewed. Now again, much like the Christy Moran face mask in the women's Sun Bowl just earlier, which was overturned, there needs to be clear evidence that the face mask was not touched en route to Brendan Gwinner. Over number 92. There he is on the right. No, that's 99. It's actually on the left side of the line, I believe. I think we're going to get it from that angle. Or maybe we will. You can see the head of Jordan Mocha definitely go back as soon as they enter frame. This might provide a little more insight. Right side of the line there, number 75 for the Rhinos, is the man who's been deemed to be face masked.
Just thought as they came around the corner, he had. You can't see it from that angle. So, slowing it down frame by frame here. Well, there's an inconveniently timed hand fighting Oswin and Capewell there that interrupt the shot right when we needed it. there.
That's probably the cleanest shot we've got of it. And
Yeah.
I think that's all the evidence they need to proceed with this penalty. The left hand there of Neil Thompson, and I think that's the case. Dan Andrew Cavalier for the call.
After review, the call on the field has been confirmed. However, the penalty should have been assessed from the previous spot, not the end of the run. Will still be first down, Rhinos.
Well, the officials used the opportunity to correct a couple things on there. Not only to confirm the face mask call there, so the Ravens, they lose a timeout. It would be the first of the second half for them. They're down to 2. Rhinos still with a full complement.
I'm not sure about you, Kenny, but my view on challenges, like using for the big things like catches, touchdowns, things like that, I'm not big on those sort of things. That's just me personally. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have.
I think there's a former commentator from earlier today who would happily agree with you there. Pass over the middle.
Wow.
Nice catch there by Kent. That gets them 3 yards short of halfway.
Certainly featured very prominently today, hasn't he, Kent?
Kent on the slant. Beating Ellis, the linebacker on the plate. Did a good job there to make Ellis open up there before coming back underneath on the slant. That's wide receivering 101. First down now for the Rhinos. It's their opening possession of the third quarter. They set up the screen to Kent. Kent can't bring in the catch, and he has Petey Brewer's face there to deal with after the drop. 2nd and 10 now from the Rhinos 42. The offensive lineman / lineman for the Ravens just on that screenshot a second ago. Big kid, it's Dan Upton. 2nd and 10. Downfield, Gwinner looks, fires for the corner. I think that's Kent again. Keeps his legs moving, grabs a couple more yards, and gets them to the Ravens 26.
Starting to see a little bit of niggling here on the line between the Ravens D-line and the Rhinos O-line. Bit of chat and a bit of push and shove. That's a great catch.
Homework on display there. The Ravens pretty much close to a 95% zone team. They do have a couple of zone man tandem players. Flood concept used there on the right side of the field just to free up Kent. And the high-low read there. 1st down and 10. Trying to get inside the red zone now. This play will be called early. Flags being thrown.
Ryan Glasson jumped. Looks like he was running a square pull, probably a little bit too keen.
Prior to the snap, full start, 66 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Ryan Glasson will request you take that comment back.
Glasson, if you're watching back, mate, I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you apologised.
First for everything.
From the 33 now, 1st and 15. 6.5 minutes left in quarter 3. Nice protection here from the Rhinos. Gwinner had plenty of time to throw, but he doesn't find a Rhino receiver. He finds the GQ defensive MVP, Chris Clark. Chris Clark with his 10th interception in 2019. Had one last week. Ran it back for 85 yards.
One of those players that is so dangerous on the field. I know preparing for our semi-final against him and watching game film, I'm sure Damien Malloy won't mind me saying, but he actually watching the film was like, hey, we have to know where number 5 is on every player when we're on offense because he changes games.
The coverage there, Gwinner was just trying to get it to his jump ball specialist and Cheyenne James. Ravens had him double covered with Chris Clark underneath. Chris Clark, as I said, intercepted a pass the one last week against the All Stingrays. Brought it back 85 yards. Holiday Miller, no. Stegman keeps it.
Oh.
Trying to give his best Gwinner impersonation. Grabs a couple of yards in the process.
I had a look at half-time and going, well, if you guys are doing that so well, so can we. And you've had Holiday Miller break off the sort of runs he has, it certainly gives you the options in the run game for Stegman to do those sorts of things.
Gwinner has done a good job looking after the football here in 2019. Only 6 picks on the year. That's pick number 7. Holiday Miller stretching out to the left-hand side. Out races the first defender. In and out for the next. And only grabs a handful of yards there for his efforts. We'll have a 3rd down here for the Ravens.
Holiday Miller just using his athleticism and speed, just try and beat people to the edge and get what he can when he gets north-south at the sideline. Some great shots we've got there too.
3rd down. They need about 3. They'll give it to number 3. He'll find more than enough yardage before he's taken down by defender number 23 there. I think that's Carper on the far side.
So far the Ravens looking like they can dig themselves out of trouble, keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving. Moment that all works in their favour.
21-31. Ravens currently with a 10-point lead. Trying to make that 17, or perhaps at least 13. Force it! Ball forced from him by Cheyenne James. Incomplete. Busy man playing both ways tonight. That is James. Big time basketball prospect before he turned his attention to football, and he's certainly using those skills on the football field. After his rookie season, ended up going up Uppsala in Sweden to play for the 86ers. Forced it this time with space when he catches this ball, leaves one defender behind and gets the Ravens inside the Rhinos' half of the field. They'll mark him down at the Rhinos' 41.
Ravens offense keeps rolling. It's great composure there by Stegman again, knowing he's going to hit, gets the ball off in time, still throws a quality ball.
Ravens back in there. Trips formation, spin move immediately by Holiday Miller, which brings him to the outside. That left side is providing a lot of love for Darius Holiday Miller. That time he had to work for it though, had to evade a defender immediately.
That spin move is incredible. Then just uses his speed to the outside, gets north-south, and then just uses pure strength just to finish the run.
This might look great from this angle.
Oh, wow.
And the unfortunate victim there, Jack Lowe, trying his best, but Holiday Miller gets him on that occasion. First down and 10. Move from a 3-by-1 to a 2-by-2 spread. Protected well here, Stegman. And was looking for Bessie despite the double coverage. Had too much on that pass though, incomplete.
We've got a flag in the middle of the field here, a bit of push and shove. And missed exactly what it was that drew the referee's attention.
There it is, I think. Matt Bailey hanging on Jack Lowe there. Probably lingered a little too long. There's a couple of former Ravens O-line. Let's see if there's a big screen.
Holding, number 50 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Well, he was draped on Jack Lowe and refused to let him up. Jack Lowe obviously on his haunches rather than pancaked by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, when he's on the ground and if he's down like that, yeah, look, it's fair. But if it's a case of, the guy's on his way up or he's getting up like that and you're still holding on to him, yeah, it's
Gotta let him
an
up.
obvious call, yeah, exactly.
In that position anyway. Moved back to the Rhinos 34 now. 1st and 20. Back to their trip set. Bessie matched up with Carper on the left side, one-on-one. They throw to a screen for Holiday Miller. Bailey gets out in front of him. The Holiday Miller follows the blocks. Now he's got Cheyenne James. He's trying to push all the way to the goal line. James takes him down at the 5, but they make up that penalty yardage real quick with interest.
Get first part of his block, sneaks on everyone, steps another, and then just drags the pile with him.
What South American voodoo magic has Holiday Miller worked with that left third of the field? All of his highlights tonight are running up and down that
sideline.
eastern sideline. Three receivers out to the right. They want to go to the one-on-one receiver and Bessie's got his third. Mitch Bessie being an absolute red zone monster tonight.
We said at the start of the day that matchup with Cheyenne James was going to feature a lot, but so far I'd probably argue Bessie's had the best of that one so far.
Well, that wasn't James.
It wasn't
on that
James.
instance. James was defending the interior. I think there might have been copper or snag on that left side, offensively speaking. And that PAT is successful.
All right, so now we're out to a 3-score game. Late in the third quarter. Certainly not panic stations just yet for the Rhinos, but I think this possession is going to be key for them. They really need to, state the obvious, go down and score, but they need to do it fairly quickly as well. So they've got time in the fourth quarter to go and
21-38 right now, edging towards the end of the third quarter. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. $17 points now, the difference.
Bessie back with the kicking duties again. And the ball's off the tee again. Wind looks like it's calmed down a little bit from the earlier games, but it's probably still sprawling around down at field level.
And another boomer here from Bessie, who hits the crossbar. What is up with Bessie and hitting the damn crossbar? Last 2 weeks ago against the Stingrays, put one of the weirdest PAT kicks up that bounced up and off the crossbar. That time he hits it from the kickoff. Dead set. Jeez, that is a big kick. And before anyone asks, no, it's not worth any points. And secondly, the crossbar would be considered as out of bounds, so there's no way the Rhinos could have recovered that and progressed it forward. Winner now. Good protection from the left side. He rolls to the right, but now the rest of the Ravens meet him and they take him down. He might have got the ball back to the line of scrimmage though to save the sack on the stat sheet. And no gain on the play.
And we've got a Raven down on the far side as well.
In fact, grabbed a yard on that last run there. And we've got a Raven down now on that eastern sideline, the Raven sideline. Cramp started to kick in. Those who didn't hydrate are about to be exposed. A couple of the Ravens players on the sideline there. I think it's Ravens sideline enjoying that sideline cam just a bit too much.
So I think that's safe to say that Brad Ibden's done for the night.
38-21 right now. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. We've still got the Raven player down and receiving treatment for cramp on that far sideline, down around the 24. And there's finally an accurate sort of indication of the wind here at Dolphin Oval, plus the crowd that has developed here. And there's our instant replay officials there. Their lovely shade there, the cardboard box manufactured into a shade for the monitor. And there's Paul Mills, our director, also running the show. Live streaming Brisbane, doing their best to provide you the best pictures we can here. The 2018 Gridiron Queensland SUNBOWL winner off his back foot. Hits Jervier on the screen. Look at him shake Raven defenders en route to a first down.
He's done that a bit tonight, hasn't he, in terms of breaking tackles and making people miss with his agility. He's had a really good game so far.
Yeah, Jervier, and he's Honestly, if you had to have a player who's covered the most yardage in the field, you know, not necessarily ball in hand, he's up there. He's been doing a lot of motions, left and right. Hasn't been given the ball for it.
It's been extremely busy.
Oh, look at all that action in front of our camera there, based on the previous play. First down and 10, back to live action. Gwinner with the design keeper here. What a lead block that sprung Gwinner. Gwinner down the right-hand sideline and steps out of bounds inside the Ravens 30. Gwinner looks reloaded and ready to recontribute with his legs.
Probably wisely didn't take on Chris Clark in the open field.
I think that's a closer fight than most would believe. Gaza just gets a good block to get the overhanging defender to spring Gwinner. First down and 10. Rhinos back on the move. Through an intercept. Last time they try to get this one to Gates. Off the phalanges it flies. Second down and 10. Gwinner gets a call in from Coach Booker. Second year with the Rhinos. Unknown if he'll stick around for more, but the agreement was 2 years with the Brisbane Rhinos. Second down and 10. Trips now out to the open side of the field for the Rhinos. Two receivers, the other side empty. For Gwinner. Gwinner's got an open receiver in the seam. But I think that might have been Newport getting his first target of the game, but Gwinner couldn't get that pass to drop fast enough.
So Newport's been unusually quiet tonight, hasn't he?
Well, can you blame the brother?
No.
Came out of a moon boot just a week ago.
Oh no, I'm not putting the blame on him. I'm just saying he hasn't been targeted as often as we would normally see.
He, to be fair, I asked him, the severity of the injury, and he goes, I don't know. And that was a couple of weeks ago, so he never told me that, it was a situation that I was going to see his season ended. Here he is in the SUNBOWL, doing everything he possibly can to assist his team to get over the hump here. Gwinner with a bit of time. Now looking for an open Cheyenne James, but he lost it. He was wide open, backing his way into the end zone with nothing but Ravens desperately chasing him down. He couldn't haul it in.
All right.
He'd done all the hard work.
It's Stokes and Clark absolutely hauling backside to get back there to try and affect the play.
I'd already counted the 6 in my head. He'd gotten past Clark, he'd gotten past Stokes, and Dan O'Day, who's only given up 2 touchdowns in the last 2 years. Lo and behold, guess who one of them's to? Cheyenne James. The other one, Jarvis McClam from a season ago. 2 pretty good receivers to be the only people
impressive names
who've claimed your scalp.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, number 12, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Rhino's taking a bit too long there, but yeah, Dan O'Day is quietly and very sneakily developed into one of the lockdown corners in this league over the last 2 years. Obviously, a lot of people remember a lot of players like Summerfield was one of those lockdown corners. A lot of corners nowadays, a lot of these top flight receivers are able to play both ways. He's a pure corner and he's proving his value here, not surrendering a whole lot of touchdowns. Blitz picked up by the Rhinos, but Gwinner takes off to the right-hand side. Nice inside move to beat 2 defenders. He gets that inside the red zone.
4th and 15, that's a
One
huge
Rhino player is
conversion.
still down. Raven player, sorry. And it's a key one too. It's Pete Brewer. You saw him. Oh, wow. Gwinner gave him the business here. Check this out. Oh, breaking ankles.
Whoa.
And his ability to run sort of reminds me of last year's winning quarterback in Tommy
Coleman,
who You know, Tommy Corwin says, I don't claim to be an athlete, but I tell you what, I've got really good balance.
Yeah.
I think Gwynner is one of those guys who's a really good athlete, also has really good balance. There's injured blow Buck Pittick amongst that huddle there. The referee, side judge, and Sadie Singh tells him to get up because he'll be about ready to go. He makes his way to the sideline. Bro, that could be a key loss defensively here, particularly in the red zone. He is the defensive play caller and organizer. And now he's coming to the side of the field and receiving a bit of attention here, and now might be on some of the other linebackers to make sure everyone is lined up properly. I think that might be Christopher Farrar now, jersey number 48, who might be stepping in. And it also could be Connor Ellis, though, based on the 2019 season. There's Gates. He rumbles forward for a bit of a settler there on first down. Positive yardage, and gets him set for second down there.
I think as the game goes on, Gates is going to play more of a part in this Rhinos offense.
Well, his role's somewhat diminished, I suppose, compared to his workload in the first quarter, but that's also behind the really successful running game of Gwynner.
Yeah.
38-21, last couple seconds of the third quarter. Rhinos trying to close that 17-point lead. Open man in the end zone. And I think that's Jervier getting past Brudrick. And I think he might have hurt himself in the catch, but the point is, he's got 6 points. And a bit of cramp, unfortunately, as a bit of residual damage. But he's got his team back on the board.
Great use of the play action pass there. Got the defensive line to bite in and bought himself enough time to loop that over the top of the secondary.
Gwynner bounces back after throwing a pick on the last drive. Throws a touchdown there, a nice 15-yarder to Kyle Jervier, hailing from the London Blitz. I should also mention his actual club team, the Hertfordshire Hurricanes, his uni team I should say, and obviously at the BAFA level plays for the London Blitz. On the losing side of a bit of a rivalry with his teammate there, and Phil Newport plays for the London Warriors. That rivalry hasn't been so much a rivalry in the last 5 years, I'm told.
Still got the injured player being attended to there.
Both. Yeah. He had to, probably what exacerbated there, he had to sort of really throw on the brakes there to make sure he stayed in bounds. And now he's being assisted off the field. That might hamper them next offensive drive if he's not resalted and hydrated back up and massaged out in time for the next drive. But that makes it 3 touchdowns for both of the quarterbacks tonight. Gwynner with 4 in total. He's contributed in all the touchdowns tonight for the Rhinos. 3 through the air and 1 through the ground. They're going to take PAT here. Obviously, they could go with a 2-point conversion there, make it 9, but 3 field goals, they don't see that offense needing that or being limited to that. So this is easily put over there by Walters. We're back to a 10-point game, 2 possessions. The difference between these two teams with 5 seconds remaining before we enter the 4th and final quarter of not only today, this game, but the 2019 season.
I think we'll see a change in the offensive strategies here from both teams going to this quarter, obviously with a 10-point difference. I I think we'll find that the Rhinos will start taking more shots, doing more of what they just did in the last drive. Whereas we'll see the Ravens stick to the run game and try and move the ball on the ground, drain the clock.
There's more footage there of touchdown photography. Nikki Verbakel having a bit of a snooze. She's had a long 13-hour day.
She's had a long day.
She's not even going to try to hide it. Short onside kick here. That almost came up the goods for the Rhinos. That was well executed. They kept together in that huddle. They didn't spread out there. And I thought everything was legal, but flag was thrown during that kicking process. Was someone offside? Oh, it looks pretty good to me.
I'm not sure what they're calling this here.
Offsides on the kicking team. That 5 yards will be added to the recovery point. 1st and 10.
Jeez, if it was by an inch. Admittedly, but I'm judging from the wide shot here from our cameras, and the officials are a lot closer. It's literally a knee or a toenail.
That sounds a bit rough.
Quick pass out to Holiday Miller, down to the fumble! Fumble to Holiday Miller, the Rhinos. They didn't get the onside recovery, but they have recovered a Darius Holiday Miller fumble. And a couple of big fellas are trying to out-maneuver each other in the penalty dance.
Bit of horsing around. I think he's just not really getting the call.
Trying to see who made the play there for the Rhinos. 1, 2, 3. That is definitely a catch. Jack Lowe. Gosh, this young man. What a couple of years he's had.
Incredibly talented, isn't he?
Juniors, Colts, now men's. He succeeded no matter the division. He's actively gotten that left arm around to punch it on from behind. A good heads-up play. And this might be Andrew Davis still down. Or maybe he wasn't trying to get a penalty there. He genuinely was injured. Now walking off the field along with Van Bloniston.
It's always good to see guys when they walk off under their own power.
So they got the break they needed, the Rhinos. They stole a possession back. Almost got it on the onside recovery. Instead had to wait a play later. Jack Lowe forces a fumble.
Right, we're in for a wild last quarter, I suggest. Brewers back out there for the Ravens.
And now we're officially into the 4th quarter as well. The last quarter of football here for Gridiron Queensland in the 2019 season in SUNBOWL 35. Gwinner with a pump fake.
Oh.
He's got gates open. And that is Chris Clark, who inadvertently knocks that ball away. He was just hauling his little backside there and he got his hands up. He just had eyes for gates though.
I think he obviously didn't realise he had a play on that. That closing speed.
They collide heavily there. Clark just knew his defense was beat and was just hauling for the man. 2nd down and 10, incomplete on 1st down. They'll go back to the pass on second via way of the screen to Kent. Kent has been productive tonight, and that production continues by way of a first down. The former Recepticon continues to ply his trade here for the Brisbane Rhinos.
This one was very similar to the one from the Ravens fumble earlier.
In other news, Brad Ebden is back on the field. I'm not sure if he came back out of halftime, but he's certainly on the field now. The linebacker shaken up in the first quarter. He's back. No report yet. No, Petey Brewer is back as well. Pulls this down now. Goes long to the one-on-one coverage of Cheyenne James. The pass is too far infield. Clark on the coverage.
Got a flag back near the line as well.
As is Stokes. Flag, as you mentioned, Bolt's back at the Ravens 38. Verbankel also on the field now. At wide receiver. Scored a touchdown at Logan.
Ineligible downfield. Number 75 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Again, that play took a while. And I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, he was a mile down. If that's who I thought it was. He almost looked like a wide receiver there.
Yeah. Not often you see a lineman 20 yards downfield.
That one just might be on you there, Jordan. Keep learning, brother. Empty set. 3 of them to the left-hand side for the Rhinos. James has found a soft spot, but so has Kent. Aware of the first hit. Jukes the first defender. Hasn't he been good tonight? A year out of the game, took a nasty injury. I think it was a leg injury.
Yeah,
A couple seasons ago. Might have been in the AGL, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it was actually.
And he's back. Looking just as good as before his extended break.
He's had a huge impact tonight.
Rhinos trying to close this to a 1-possession lead. They trail by 10. We're inside the fourth quarter now. Just ticking past the 12th minute. Here goes Gwynner down the right-hand side. Tries to the defender. Does get over, at least from my angle, over Dan O'Day. I don't know if he just hurdled next to him or actually cleared him. I can't wait to see an angle from behind.
As soon as the rush coming, takes off and oh wow.
He gets the right leg over. That counts. That counts. Here it is on the reverse angle. Yeah, that's a hurdle. That's a hurdle. I still think the best hurdle I've seen. I mean, Malloy's had quite a few, but I think of Jarvis McLean. Was it Jarvis McLean? No, I think it was the other import last year. This pass sails on Gwynner, though. Maybe a little too jacked up from that last horse hurdle. Incomplete.
Yeah, like I say, McLean was just one of those just absolute freak athletes. Like, you know, I don't recall seeing someone at least at this level with the talent and the ability he had.
On 2nd and 10 now. Gwynner!
Oh,
Is this a tuck rule situation? It doesn't matter because Gwynner's got his back and now he's on a roll getting this ball inside the Ravens 10. That's a heck of a job of salvaging and selling for profit.
that's just a testament to the night he's having. And then cleans up the fumble and still gets the first down.
Three by one. It's 1-on-1 with O'Day and Cheyenne James on the bottom outside, but it is a give to Gates. He's got a full head of steam. Steps out of bounds though, around the 3. Oh, young Jordan Moka there just losing his cool on the end of that play. He'll take a play to recapture his composure. Alex Gray has
It's down to the one, have something like that happen.
his offensive line coach now giving him a pep talk.
The result of the play was the runner was down at the 2-yard line. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 75 on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty, brings up second down.
So I'm moving back. There would have been a second and goal from the 2. Now they'll have second down and goal all the way back at the 17. Once again, O'Day and James matched up. O'Day bails and Gwinner goes forward. Gwinner jukes left, jukes right, straightens up and gets this ball back to where they last left off. And they'll have a goal to go situation from the 6.
Good chunk of yards that help make up for that penalty.
Third and goal here. If they can't get it here on third down, they'll have to decide whether they're going to go for 3 or 6. Verbakel out to the top of the screen. Delayed handoff. No, it's a keeper to Gwinner who breaks the first tackle and he will be pulled short. They will get up to the 3. He'll be 3 yards away here on 4th down. This is effectively a PAT distance away. And right down in the middle of the hashes as well. So it's an easy 3 for them, if you can call any field goal an easy 3. But if they're feeling hungry, which it looks like they are, they'll chase 6 and ultimately 7 points here rather than the field goal. Field goal team stays on the sideline. Gwinner comes out with his offense. Newport in the right slot. But they'll give it to the big man, Jeremiah Gates. Open sesame, he gets over the line. They're now a field goal, a successful PAT and a field goal away from leveling the scoreboard.
I like the play call there.
Don't overthink it.
No, and as I said, like Gates is featured less in the second half, but he's on the back of Grinner's run game, so he's fresh and it's a long drive.
Just getting behind the block there from Luke Rangi-Sau and powering over Adniel Thompson. Still important PAT here for Walters, and he makes no mistake. Cool as a cucumber. That lead is shaved down to 3 at 1 point in their second half. The Ravens are led by 17. Now that lead shrivels down to 3. Ravens offense following the next kickoff will jump back on the field after giving up possession on their last outing. Holiday Miller lost the ball via a Jackalow punch out.
Still over 8 minutes to play. It's way too soon for them to start getting conservative or trying to drain the clock. They really do need to score again here. Rhinos offense, particularly this last quarter, has looked extremely likely. So you don't want to give them the ball back with a lot of time and rely on...
Well, there is a lot of time here, and obviously they were chasing more points last time, but the last kickoff we saw was an onside kick attempt.
No.
Let's see how quickly they break out of this huddle. This one, a little more traditional, a little more conventional. Five each side. Walters. This ball's on the 30, and Walters will boot this downfield. And it does take a bounce on the 1, but then there's more than enough leg to bounce out of the end zone. The kicking here from Walters now has negated the kick returns that did benefit the Ravens early in the first half. So right now, that takes away some of those big 80-yard piggybacks that the Ravens offense was getting. Offense now. Well, here's where that first level of nerves start coming through, and if the Ravens are going to win this, they're going to need to overcome that. You've got a hungry offense on the opposite side of the field who have proven they're willing to chase. They're only 3 yards behind now. They are breathing down your neck. 38-35. Fumble on the first play again. Back-to-back drives. One-play drives that have resulted in fumbles with the Rhinos recovering.
They've gone the direct snap to Holiday Miller and it's been fumbled.
I don't know if it was or if it was intended. Stegman was there. It was a low snap. It's come off somebody's knees. But the Rhinos' hunger is rewarded with another recovery. This one already inside the red zone. This crowd has come alive here. Anyone and everyone who is supporting the Brisbane Rhinos has raised their voice. First down now. The Ravens defense now needs to come up with something big. They've got one takeaway tonight, but the momentum is all red and black right now. This will kill the mojo of both teams just a wee bit. Javier has to come off the field for what I assume is an equipment violation. I don't think he had his mouth guard in. Verbakel now substitutes in for him.
It's been a huge momentum swing we've seen in the last couple of minutes, isn't it?
I've no doubts there was probably certain people already starting to call curtains once the Ravens stretched out to a 17-point lead. With the way these two offenses are going, you think you get a lead like that, you know, you got to stay ahead. But alas, 2 fumble recoveries later, the Rhinos have a chance to take the lead. Once again, this play will be blown dead. It might be a delay of game now, based on where that flag's been thrown.
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Number 12 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Both teams now guilty of a couple of delay of games.
Now they've got them back up, the Ravens defense really need to take advantage of this and lock down.
First down and 15. They're just outside the Ravens 20. It'll be a possible reverse. No, just an inside give with a funky handoff to Gates for a negative 2-yard run.
They just want to play on the backside of the line there.
A 2nd and 20 now.
Empty backfield.
Probably a bit less than 20, in fact. Plenty of time on the clock. Winner goes for the end zone, though, off the hands of Kent. Just a little too tall there for Josh Kent. Kent with a touchdown to open the account for the Rhinos. They try to go back to him here in the red zone. Couldn't haul it in. 3 different touchdowns through the air for the Rhinos. 3 different receivers. Kent James Jervier. Third down and we'll call it 17. Couple of receivers crossing the middle of the field, but he dumps it underneath to Jeremiah Gates, who leaves 2 players on the dirt. Getting this ball to the Ravens 15.
Sort of fourth and 8 there or thereabouts. Down by 3. What do we do here?
What do you do here? I think you got to ride them.
I'll take the points.
Well, that's what the Ravens once said in a overtime situation. What happened there, Adam Bolton?
I think we won by memory.
Well, they must be agreeing with you, mate. They've sent Walters here kicking from the right hash. Favourable for a left foot kicker. He puts it up. It is good. Scores are levelled.
You just feel the energy in the stadium start to change, don't you?
23-yard field goal there. Actually, doing the maths on that. 33.
Very different body language on both sidelines at the moment. Still over 6 minutes to play. Anything can happen here.
The way it is split, 4 touchdowns each. And a field goal from both camps. 3 straight scoring possessions from the Rhinos. 2 of them gifted with fumbles on the first play from a scrimmage. From the Ravens, of course. They've got to get over the mental hurdle here. They've got to go to something simple just to get a drive going here. They are no longer in the lead. Game is back to 0-all. Warwick Russell with a whole lot of work to do. And the kick coverage team from the Rhinos does a jolly good job there. They stop the Ravens inside their 20, possibly inside their 15, but we've got a runner down. 2 runners down. James Calishaw, one of those guys, but he gets up now. Terry O'Neill's there, but I think he's there for moral support. Can't make out who that final player is for the Rhinos. No, that's Tyson Snagdown, one of the other special team gunners on the outside. And he's up and comfortable enough to jog off the field. What I've got the Ravens here. We talked about field position pressure in the women's SUNBOWL. Talked about scoreboard pressure. We talked about momentum pressure all the way throughout today. This is all 3 right now against the Ravens. This can make the most simple of football tasks feel like the game-winning play. And Ravens need some mental fortitude right now because they've got a very hungry Rhinos team ready to take the ball away again. Stegman keeps this ball, and it's a good run. He gets it all the way up to the 25 for a first down. And those supporting the Ravens hoping that that's enough to get this offense back to its first half and third quarter ways.
Yeah. It was a good read there by Stegman.
And for those 2 fumbles, back-to-back touchdowns through the air. Stegman to Bessie. The Rhinos sideline urging the crowd to put off the Ravens here while they're on offense. Stegman under pressure, escapes 1, tries to get Russell underneath. That he does, and will pick up a couple yards there on the dump-off. Second down ahead for the Ravens.
He's done a good job to make something out of nothing there. That looked like Stegman was dead for rights there.
That's a man who's played a lot of quarterback there. The whole time evading the rush, his eyes are downfield.
He's got to have that sixth sense as a quarterback to know where the pressure is and where it's coming from. Because as soon as you take your eyes off what's happening downfield, you're in big trouble.
Second down. They need 6. Edwards in the slot now, moves a player inside him. That's Chris Clark. He's just as capable on offense, even though they haven't used him tonight. And this play is going to be a delay of game penalty.
prior to the snap, delay of game. Number 10, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
And as I mentioned, both teams guilty of a couple of delay of games. I got to wonder, is it a situation where they're taking too long, or are they not taking the refs, are they listening to the refs' warning, or the refs are not giving them loud enough? But both teams guilty of a couple of those tonight. Second down and 11. Back to Holiday Miller they go. He's climbing the staircase, and that gets him past the 30. Another fumble? 3 straight fumbles. No, he's saying he's down by contact. The judge over there on the eastern sideline said he was down before the ball came out. I'm not seeing any signals to suggest this turnover stands, and the flag comes out. Booker thinks it was out. And he might have a case. The question is this challengeable? He's in the air. As long as that ball's coming out during that period, can't tell from this angle. It certainly comes out once he hits the ground. The ground can't force a fumble, but if they believe that ball was coming out whilst he was in the air, this will be Rhinos football.
I'm not convinced that's on the ground.
The reverse angle is favourable for the Rhinos. The front angle is favourable for the Ravens. Carefully getting the final discussion now, about to communicate to the all of us. The rest of us, I should say. All of us. Sideline urging the first down. First down Rhinos, of course.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The player was down. We'll have third down.
And to the boos of what sounds like a very favourable Rhino crowd. The officials do not change their mind. That will cost the Rhinos a timeout and a challenge.
I think it's Coach Booker, you have to throw it there though.
Of course.
Some doubt, you get the turnover there, that's massive.
Coach Booker will not be allowed to challenge any more plays for the rest of the game, which is all of 4 minutes and 29 seconds. Third down here. Holiday Miller evades what would have been a third fumble in a row. Stegman throws under pressure, finds Forsett, and now he possibly loses the football. I'm getting an incomplete signal on one side. This is the officials are all waving incomplete. Ooh. The Rhinos defense coming to the sideline. They were sure that was a fumble. Oh, wow.
It's fourth down.
Oh, jeez. I mean, on the good news for the Rhinos, it is fourth down.
Oh, he's got... that looks like he's got control to me.
All he needs to show, 1, 2, a football move. Oh, listen. I'm not here to make decisions like that, but I tell you what, that's going to go down as a controversial one in the weeks to come, I imagine. Fourth down.
Will be under review.
And this play now, obviously, Coach Booker out of coach's challenges, but this has been brought up from the instant replay booth. They're going to take a look at this here and see if in fact was a catch and fumble opposed to the on-field call of an incomplete pass. have we seen a tenser fourth quarter than this? Well, yeah, by all means, we could look at about 5 of the last 6 Sun Bowls.
So I mean, last year's last quarter was a bit like this, wasn't it?
This Ravens offense, fumbles on 3 consecutive drives, if this is the case.
After review, the receiver had possession of the ball, fumbled the ball. There was a clear recovery by the Rhinos. The ball was returned to the 29-yard line. It'll be first down, 29.
The Rhinos refused. They could not have that much bad luck. They are doing everything and everything to claim this game back. They were down a 17-0 at one point here in this second half. They have scored 17 unanswered points and forced 3 fumbles
3 straight turnovers
in 3 straight Raven drives. I mean, one thing I don't have is how points were scored in previous Sun Bowls. This 17 points has got to be up there with one of the biggest comebacks in Sun Bowl history. Rolled out to the right from Gwynna. He's lost the back plate. He's going for the one-on-one coverage underneath. Who's that? I think it's Jervier down at the 1.
Wow.
The half-yard out, in fact. Everything's coming up, Rhinos.
That's right. Oh, look at, nice right. Here's the seam. Great ball. Wow.
And the crowd are pulling to the side of that, a replay. First down and goal from less than a yard away. The Rhinos to have the lead for the first time in this half. They give it back. No, they keep it to Gwynna. Gwynna with touchdown number 5. Hasn't he put the team on his back here? He's got them over the line. He's got them back in the lead. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the game.
Well, have a listen to the crowd here as well. There's no doubting who they're supporting. A lot out for the extra point now.
Straight to the PAT. Walters has been perfect tonight. Kick is up. Kick is off the left upright.
No good.
Well, maybe call that the
could be
commentator's curse
massive.
there. Might have put the marker on him. Left upright.
Oh.
So now, 6 points. If the Ravens can get it together, a touchdown
Wow.
will level the scores, of course, but a PAT will not only, well, what would usually level the scores will give them the game. Of course, it all depends on how quickly they score that touchdown, if they can.
We've seen the Ravens special teams come up big tonight. Now the time they're going to need for them to replicate that. The Rhinos huddling.
3 through the air, 3 by sea, 2 by ground. Brandon Gwynna, left boot of Walters, sends this into the Ravens end zone. And what a swing of momentum. The wave came and the Rhinos have rode it all into the final 4 minutes.
What do the Ravens have left?
They need their leadership to give them a massive lift here. They need to remind their sideline, we got to a lead. We were capable of scoring. We were capable of scoring fast. And they need to regather their composure right now. Plenty of time here.
Oh,
they need to get
heaps
it
of
back
time.
quickly. It's 6 points. But can they overcome the ghosts that have appeared here in the fourth quarter?
Surely you couldn't have 4 straight drives with a fumble.
Right now, I don't know what I believe. Stegman in the spread. Holiday Miller at tailback. They give it back to him. He's got Rhinos to beat. He does so. Cuts inside him. Outside of Walters. Keeps his
Still
balance.
going.
Still got a bunch of Rhinos all ripping at that ball. And that is good for a first down.
Running like a man possessed.
Down the left-hand side that time. Holiday and Miller journeyed. Three receivers out to the right. Ravens with 3.5 minutes are chasing 6 points. Stegman under pressure. No, he holds strong. He's got on there. That's Warwick Russell. Warwick Russell down to the 20.
Wow. Russell turns the wrong way on that initially. Turns back into it. I don't know how he's caught that. I wanted to the replay. That's incredible. Look at that. Catches the ball. Drives upfield. That is massive. Now momentum swings back in favour of the Ravens.
I was ready to call incompletion there. Russell looked lost under that ball. He was looking outside, looking inside.
He's gone outside shoulder, then somehow turned back in and still caught it. That is unbelievable.
Just outside the 20, in fact. Around the 21. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Stegman keeps it. Stegman gets it inside the 20 now on first down.
I like the play call there, just to settle things down, keep the clock running.
21-14, the last year's score. 22-21, the year before that.
Good year, that.
Two very close games that these two teams competed on. Neither of them on the winning side. One of them will be tonight. Force it in the left slot. Spread. They go back to Russell. Russell's got a blocker in front. He gets close to a first down. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds.
I reckon he's got enough there. Okay, this spot's going to be critical here. Yep, first down to Russell.
He's got it.
So we're technically still first and 10 on the 11. Or 10 and a half maybe. Ravens in 2x2 with Bunch to the right.
Holiday Miller gets the carry again.
To
the outside. Holiday Miller inside the right pylon. No flags on the field.
No
Touchdown Ravens. They're a PAT away. I think.
I don't think there's been a signal yet.
I saw one signal. I think there might have been. Can someone give me a signal?
They're saying he stepped out.
Out of bounds. I apologise for misleading everyone there. I thought he was in.
Oh, I thought he was too.
Saw one touchdown signal.
Maybe at the 3? 2.
The unfortunate news right now. Oh no, there it is.
That's your point.
Here I thought, there goes my dramatic call of it. Russell here to give them the lead. This is a clutch kick. Kick is up, it's touched. It's touched, but it's not enough. It's good. The Ravens now lead by a single point. Holiday Miller ran them in inside the right pylon.
This is the replay of that touchdown run. Just around the corner. Oh yeah, never worried.
But have they left too much time on the clock here for Brandon Gwinner, who's in a red hot form here?
2:25, I'd suggest that could be the case.
2 minutes, 25 seconds, 2 timeouts in the bank. They only need a field goal. Walters has only missed 1 kick tonight.
Wow. The last thing the Ravens want here is a short kick that gives the Rhinos a decent return.
They had to suck it up there. 3 straight drives with turnovers, and they had to find it within themselves to come back and drive the field to get ahead. But I stress, 2 minutes and 25
That's an
seconds is a
eternity.
lifetime.
We've seen in the fourth quarter how well this Rhinos offense can move the ball quickly. Yeah, kick off from Bessie. Oh, he's on the squib kick.
They don't want to risk
Interesting.
it. It is in the hands of Cheyenne James. Returned one against them 2 years ago.
Ooh.
Won't be the case here, but he does get his offense up past the 30.
So an excellent starting field position though, particularly if they're just looking, as you said, only need a field goal here, so to get into range, this is a good starting spot. Looks like there's a Rhino down on the play. I'm not sure if that's Chime James. Just trying to see. So it does look like James is getting some attention there. Now again, if he's not able to return, that's going to be huge as well.
Tell you what, everyone's come to the party now to the live stream. Just seeing everyone jumping in. And
Looks like we've got some.
break and play here. Cheyenne James is in fact getting traded for cramp. He joins the cramp list, I think. Oh no, he isn't. He's not getting the leg stretched out. Somebody else going in with Cheyenne. Just more time for the nerves to kick in to both of these
correct.
sidelines.
Someone think there's more time to strategise and calm down and stuff. It usually works the other way. It sort of breaks the momentum and gives people time to think more, and that's not always a good thing. So at 44-45, that means we've set the new scoring record.
We have 89 points now. Eclipses the previous mark set back in 1990 of 81 points of the total score in a game. 89, the new record that could be broken once more.
So plenty of time.
Gates with plenty of space. Picks up 4 or 5.
Great open field tackle though. Keeps the clock running, but should take us down to the 2-minute warning. I believe that's what they're calling. So Rhinos have trips right.
Second down. Gates again.
That's
Beats the first tackler at the line of scrimmage. Has got the first down and more. Now there's a scrum there towards the far sideline. They're getting closer and closer to Henrik Walter's range. Don't obviously have an official number of that. But I could say if they can get down to the 20, they're in with a chance.
absolutely. And just like with someone else down. Okay, looks like that's Gates coming off. Alright, so Gates coming off and first down for the Rhinos. Alright, first and 10 on the 42. Rhinos come out with an empty set. Gwinner back in the gun.
Empty set without help. Gwinner. Couple of players. A break to the outside. Gwinner has to buy some time. Now he'll just grab the yardage with his legs. Gets out
of bounds.
one tackle and gets out of bounds there.
Smart football.
Under 90 seconds to go.
Picks up the first down, gets out of bounds, and getting very much closer to that field goal range. So first and 10 at the 31. If we had to kick from here, so we're looking at probably 48 if that was the case. Obviously they'll be looking to get a lot closer than that.
Well, we've seen how big his leg is. He's been getting touchbacks from the 30. 60-yard kicks there, obviously. You want to get around the apex of the kick there, so reasonably speaking, this play's called to a halt.
Another delay game.
Reasonably speaking, you could argue they're in his range right now, but it all depends on the trajectory he can get in on the kick.
Yeah.
Obviously with kickoffs, no one's there trying to block your kick.
No.
Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yet another delay of game.
We've seen a lot of those today, haven't we? In all grades. Rhinos line up with trip to the right.
Deep drop, the Ravens bringing in pressure, but it's because there's a screen. Gates has got it with a couple of blockers. Gates has got it with a player on his back, and he's taken down to just outside the 20. Time continues to tick.
So now it's not just a case of distance, also hash marks as well is going to make a difference. Right, so first and 10 at the 21.
We are inside a minute. You could argue the Rhinos are inside field goal range. Gwinner though, Gwinner beats one. Gwinner gets taken down by the following two defenders, Adenil Thompson and one of those, Shelvin Takave Chan the other.
Okay, so we've got a timeout here to the Ravens. All right, so second and 7 on about the 19 we're looking at.
46 seconds on the clock, and yet another men's SUNBOWL that goes down to the final minute.
For the Ravens, you need to make stops. We've got a turnover. For the Rhinos, it's about gaining yards, but also being mindful of hash mark as well.
Well, that's exactly right. If they want to go for the field goal, they need to start getting plays that will get them to whatever Walter's favoured side is.
Yeah.
And that very well could just be the middle of the field, but all kickers have a preferred area.
I think he's left-footed.
Sorry?
He's left-footed.
Left-footed.
Yeah, so he has to put in middle or right hash.
Off the right hash though, he bounced it off the left post last time.
That's true, he did too. There we go,
Winner, he's got James! James with the catch and
Stokes!
knocked out Ben Stokes with a critical hit that takes the touchdown away from Cheyenne James.
Wow. That is a huge play by Stokes.
That was a touchdown. James just needed to continue rotating. A clutch play there from Dr. Ben Stokes.
There we go, third down.
45-44, third down here. They are in field goal range. Spread formation, a Gwinner here. 38 seconds, looks for James. He had two receivers open, they looked at each other there. Weren't sure who was going to catch it, and the ball, it sails. And I hear the Dari music playing in my head.
I can't believe that.
Wow.
Both had their defenders beaten too. They both had the bet on the ball, and they both just assumed the other one was going for it. Now here we go. So fourth and
7
on the 19. So we're kicking. What's that?
In recent history, this will be the
36.
first time a SUNBOWL will be decided by a kick.
Kicking 36, and the Ravens, I think, scored a timeout.
Ravens are going to try and ice Henrik Walters. Henrik Walters has been kicking smoothly tonight, has the one miss that bounced off the left upright. Otherwise, his smooth, consistent motion has been a dream. Right now, they're going to rely on him to win them SUNBOWL 35. The ball is spotted at the Ravens 19.
Can't see what the wind is doing, if anything.
It's actually dropped a considerable amount, I've been told, for those on the field. Crunching the numbers, this is a 36-yard field goal.
There we go.
And it's from the middle of the field. The previous play before the incompletions had them in the middle of the field from a smack bang midfield at the 19, a 36-yarder. To win the game, Henrik Walters. The kick is up and it's blocked! The Ravens block it! They need to get on it! That they do! The kick is blocked! The Ravens might have blocked a kick en route to their very first SUNBOWL championship. No flags. The block deemed clean.
What an incredible final quarter. This has had everything.
I don't know who blocked it. The blocking for the field goals has been outstanding by the Rhinos tonight.
I think it's what you said before, Kenny, about distance versus trajectory. I think someone in the middle got their hand up on it.
The Ravens now, Rhinos, don't have enough timeouts. They can kneel this out. We're not going to get it off that replay too fast. The Ravens now just a couple kneels away from being on the winning ledger of one of the most amazing games in Gridiron Queensland history. I know I've said that a couple times, but this is certainly up there. Someone in the middle of that line. I'm sure we'll find out via social media.
Oh, there'll be no shortage of people claiming it. Ravens in victory formation here. Just waiting for the ball to be blown in from the timeout.
Saw the Rhinos. It's so close. Both of these teams established in the year 2000. The Rhinos, they were first to a championship between these two teams. Originally established either side of the gateway. They won it back in 2005. Saving something disastrous here. The Ravens look to add their first in 2019. Waiting for that ball to be raised before we give the official goal.
I think the Rhinos are just taking their last timeout.
The Rhinos have used their final timeout. The awkward thing here is, I mean, the thing is, they got to be careful. This is reminiscent of Super Bowl 45 or something, was it? Where the Eagles Patriots, where the Brady had to be very careful about where he took the knee.
Yeah.
You can see at the goal line there, Stegman has to take it in the field to play. That he does. A safety, of course, here would win the game for the Rhinos. Wouldn't that be a way to finish? The Ravens.
We're just waiting now for the ball to be raised.
Counting down now. 9, 8, 7. The final 5 seconds now. 2, 1. The Ravens, they've done it. It's taken them almost 20 years to the day. But they've claimed their first title here in the men's division. They've had a number in the juniors, in the Colts, in the women's. But this title has eluded the Ravens for several years, particularly over the recent 5. They had a 17-point lead. It got taken away from them. They're their own demons they needed to slay in the fourth quarter. This Rhinos team looks certain to take this game away from them. And alas, a blocked kick right at the end of the game secured it for the Ravens. The Rhinos, they looked like a team of destiny. They were playing for so much today. But it is the Ravens who'll be walking home with the SUNBOWL trophy for the very first time in their 20-year history. Plenty going on down the bottom here. I think we're going to cut. I think Glenn is ready. I will continue to fill you in until our third member of the broadcast, Glenn Parker, is ready to receive us. A 17-point deficit gone like that. Three straight fumbles. Momentum was firmly against them. And at one moment it just looked like it was going to be another collapse. And there is head coach, captain, and starting a running back, Darius Holiday-Miller, chatting to Glenn.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here on the field with the head coach of the first time SUNBOWL champions, Bayside Ravens, with Darius Holiday-Miller. What do you reckon, Darius? How did that go today? What a game.
It was back and forth. I made a mistake, but the team game, where we stood up when we needed to, we took advantage of the opportunities they gave us, and we came away with the victory. So it's a big shout out to all the coaches in our team. It's a great team over there as well, but at the end of the day, look, we finally got it done.
Yeah, man, the thing that struck me is the emotion of the day. Yeah. To be fair, I mean, you're coaching a team, you're running the pill, you're making the calls, and you had a fumble, whatever, and you still get up and you win it by a point. Yeah. Man, the emotions, it's got to be a question, how are those emotions going?
One thing I've learned this year is you have to keep your emotions in check. You can't run a team full of emotions. It doesn't work. The things are up and down. You have to stay stoic throughout the whole day. Internally, I'm over the moon right now, but I'm going to show that in the locker room. Out here, where it's all business.
Yeah, well said, mate. And the one thing that strikes me with this Ravens team is you've learned to win. Your first one, well done. Now you've done it. There's no reason why you can't do your own little dynasty going on, yeah? Exactly. I mean, these two clubs, they fight hard against each other. They always have. But what a great competition. Without doubt, one of the best games of football I've ever seen. And I think the officiating tonight was fantastic. You kept you guys moving along without any problems or anything like that. No real controversies in the game whatsoever. But, wow, the heart by the Ravens tonight. Well done, mate, and congratulations on your first win.
Thank you so much. Respect to the Rhinos, and Birdtown, we did it.
Congratulations, mate. We'll talk to you soon.
He must be busy.
Backhouse.
And there is Holiday-Miller on the sideline. This is something that's eluded him for so long. I've seen him on the back end of a lot of those losses. He's taken many of them to heart, and it's forced him to grow up in areas he probably didn't know he needed to grow up in. Finally, in the fourth crack, him and his Bayside Ravens, they've got the title. And it's not just him. Jason Leon, number 2, the defensive end. He's been the longest serving Raven on this team. He was there in 2010, I said. The last player, I'm looking at Liam Edwards now, going to see his father. His father won titles as a Razorback back in the day. He now shares that glory with his dad. Jack Capewell joins an elusive club, the only Raven in history to win a title as a junior Raven and a senior Raven. A lot of these guys over the last couple of years have had to deal with the heartbreaking losses. They've lost all different types of ways. Jared Stegman, the mercenary, gone from team to team, started at Logan,
been so
went
close
to the Rhinos,
so many times.
over to the Ravens, and he finally gets his elusive GQ title. And there he is with his
elation out there.
vlogging camera in hand. Commiserations to this Rhinos team. They were the fourth form team of the year.
Yeah.
9 wins, just a one loss. Looks so strong. Game got away from them a bit. They regathered. They re-rallied. They overcame a 17-point deficit. Grabbed, leveled the scores once again. Had an opportunity to take that game at the death. Both teams now just in their final huddles before we throw down for the presentation. There's the emotion now. This team started back in 2000. Another person, Mighty Mouse, Phil Taylor.
Oh,
he's one of the few old boys started this team, or one of the people who started this team back in 2000. First ever head coach. He's still around the club. One of the few old boys who's still regularly around. He's seen here. This is a sight he's dreamed about seeing, and you can see him out there in the grey shirt.
He's been on the sideline through the ones they've lost, the heartbreaks they've had.
And it looks like we're ready to go down to the sideline. Glenn Parker might be ready. If both teams can make their way to the presentation area. And when you're ready, Glenn, it's all yours.
Very good. You give me the nod, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin the formal presentation part of the ceremony for this afternoon, celebrating the win and the final game of 2019. Bayside Ravens versus the Rhinos, Brisbane Rhinos, 45-44 victory. I guess if you're watching live stream, I guess that's probably one of the best games you've seen. Certainly one of the best I've seen. And the Ravens finally, cracking their first SUNBOWL victory in the senior men's. Well deserved so. Coached by Darius Holiday Miller. And we're going to get the two teams over here very soon. We'll get the presentations underway. So we'll just stick with us for a moment with the live stream through Live Streaming Brisbane. I would like to thank Gridiron Queensland, obviously, and of course the Dolphin Stadium here in Redcliffe, Brisbane. You probably know Redcliffe are trying to get into the NRL, and what a great venue this has been. Best field I've ever walked on, and we really loved our day here, and I hope you loved our live stream broadcast. We're going to get the teams over now. We're going to get on with the celebrations and presentations for accordingly. So give me 1 minute, we'll get the teams right in place. Can we have the teams to the presentation area, please? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin the formal part of the ceremony today. We get out the trophies. So can we have the Rhinos over to the presentation area, please? And Ravens, just in my head behind Coach Darius Miller. We'll get on with it and we'll move on from there. If I could please ask the coach of the Rhinos to come forward, Coach Booker. We'll have a chat with the coach. Head Coach Booker of the Brisbane Rhinos.
Yep.
Congratulations, brother. What a great game of football, mate.
Yeah.
Emotional day, yeah? Wow, what a roller coaster ride. But how about that third quarter, fourth quarter comeback where your boys, you stuck with the faith and the boys delivered it to you, got all the way down there. And yeah, how close is that? 45-44. What a great game of football, mate.
Yeah. We played 2 really good games with this team throughout the season. We knew what they were capable of. We knew we couldn't make mistakes. They capitalized on those mistakes. I appreciate them letting us back in the game. They were kicking our ass for a bit. But overall, man, I mean, hats off to them. You got to give credit where credit's due. 1 point, I mean, we beat them by 7 maybe. They beat us by 14 or 10 or whatever in the second match. I mean, this is what everybody expected, and they came out tight. Congrats to them.
Yeah, well said, Coach. The one thing I noticed today was the emotional roller coaster of the game, not only for the Rhinos, but also for the Ravens. You know, they're driving, you know, and their number 1 running back that we know of, you know, and we spilled the ball and brought you back into the game, and then he comes back and he puts them back in the game. That's a roller coaster, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the guy, I don't know how many yards he had today, but he was due for a couple of mistakes. He was carrying the team, so like, he did what he did. Like, he's a dominant player. Like, everyone makes mistakes, but luckily he's good enough that they had a big enough cushion that didn't hurt them. You know what I mean? So, like, give him credit.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate your time. I know it's a difficult period right now, but we do appreciate your time talking to us, and we'll talk a little bit later on, yeah? Well done, Coach. Well, great season. Yeah. Coach Booker. I'd like to bring out at this point the winning coach of SUNBOWL 2019, their first SUNBOWL. Yeah, baby. A long time waiting, 19 years. But what a great game of football played by the Bayside Ravens on both sides of the football. Almost immaculate, almost immaculate. Great game of football. But could you please welcome Darius Holiday Miller? Well done, Coach. What a great game. As I spoke to you earlier on the field, what an emotional roller coaster for you guys. And you know, you're coaching, you're calling plays, you're talking to players, you're keeping them up, you're keeping them calm, and you're running the pill as well. It's a pretty big day for you, right? How did you handle it in your upstairs? How did you go?
I'm just going to flip the script a little. I just want to thank 3 groups of people. To the past, to the Paul Knights, to the Phil Taylors, to the Steve Boxers, to the McCarty family, the Sinapati family, the Turner family, the Webbs, everybody in between. This is just as much yours as it is ours. You are the lifeblood of who we are, and you are the reason why we are here today. Thank you.
Yeah, well spoken, mate. I agree with it 100%. You're absolutely right.
To the future of this club and the teams that are to come, take this, run with it, use this as a infrastructure on what success can look like with a little bit of hard work. And to the present, to people right here and the fans in the stand, thank you for everything you have done this year. I said right at the beginning of the year that we would face adversity, and we are the epitome of that. Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Coach. It's the strength and the unity and the family. It's everything with this team. It always has been, and it always will be. And congratulations on your first SUNBOWL victory. There'll be many more.
Thank you so much.
Coach, could you grab the winning medallions off of the QG and hand them out to your players? If you grab the... Did you want to speak first?
No.
Huh?
You're our MVP, I'll tell you.
Oh, is it?
It's Brendan Witter from the Rhinos.
Righty up. Copy that. Yeah, Coach, if you grab those and you can hand them out to your players as we talk to them. Sorry, folks, at this time, I'd like to call captain from the Rhinos out to have a chat, please. One captain from the Rhinos. Hey Jamesy, how are you, bro? Good game, mate. Good game, mate. That was a tough one, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
But what a game. Lots of good catches. Some unbelievable plays. Turnovers when needed, yeah? Turnovers when needed. Give you the chance.
Yes.
Keep the hope going, you know, and the defense played a little bit of cushion there, but then they stepped up, yeah? And got you to peel back, and you guys, so close, man. What a great game of football. Proud to be involved in it. I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I hope what we've done here is like, you know, the Rhinos as an organization has helped GQ, you know, like improve in general. I said the same thing last year, like we're trying to make the competition better here in Australia. I know a lot of people are hating on what we do, but we just trying to make the game better here in Australia. Like, I need people to understand that. We're trying to make the game better here in Australia. We ain't targeting anybody. And I'm glad, man. I'm happy for the Ravens, man. They played a hell of a game. And that's all I want. We just want better competition here in Australia. We want the game to grow. We want the game to keep getting better here in Australia. Thank you for everybody that came out. And to my team, hey, I love you. I always be with you. Rhinos for life. Sorry we came up short. But hey, that's the game, man. You win some, lose some. Thank you.
Yeah, well said, bro. Well said. Can I have one captain from the Ravens winning team? One captain. The same thing. Congratulations on the win, obviously. I was sitting up there stand calling you the angry ant today. You looked like you had something to do out there. You were pretty serious. And a lot of plays there, you looked a little angry, but you got the job done. You went off, you came back, you went off, you came back, and you just kept going. And I'll tell you what, that's what got you guys there. Just keep bloody going. Great game, well done. What are your thoughts on the game and the emotions of it?
I think you might be the first person to ever say that I'm angry. We try to keep it loose on our team. We have fun being around each other and playing this awesome sport. Riding the emotions is just part of the game. And myself and the other leaders, our job's to keep everyone level so we can perform. We had our ups and downs, but we came out on top.
You sure did. And how good is it to get there, eh? I mean, seriously, I've been involved in it with you guys as a team, a franchise, and the other team is a franchise. But I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so proud of what you guys did. Stuck together and made it happen. I mean, that's what it's all about, yeah?
100%. I think tomorrow's going to be the best Silly Sunday this team's ever had. But guys like this make it easy. We've got a club that it's not a job or a chore to come to training. We like being around each other, which makes it easy to go to work and put our blood, sweat, and tears out there.
Well, last of all, congratulations on the win once again. It's amazing. A great game of football. It's just amazing to see you guys on the platform. It's brilliant. Congratulations, my friend. Cool job. The next presentation we have today is for the MVP of the SUNBOWL 2019 men's division. What a game, 45-44. 4 touchdowns running, 4 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdowns passing. My gosh, they couldn't split it upstairs. But today, and maybe for the first time that I can remember, the MVP of the SUNBOWL, number 12 from the Rhinos, the quarterback. Hey, where's he gone? Is he gone? Yeah, that's right. Coach Booker will come up and accept the medallion for the quarterback who's getting changed. Good job. Good job. And do you want to say anything about him?
Brandon is for the imports for the Ravens also. And what's up? Oh, Brandon's coming back. His stomach hurt. I don't want to say what he's doing in the bathroom, but you got we call it the BGs in America, bubble guts. All right, but I just want to say for all the imports on both sides of the ball, they sacrifice a lot to be here. I'm still in Brandon's speech at the moment, but they work jobs just like all the Australian players, and they're expected to carry their teams like Brandon did for us this year. So here comes the MVP.
Brandon.
Oh, stanky booty ass little boy.
Oh man, I gotta
Well
talk. First thing I gotta say is I just appreciate everybody in this league, and we balled out. The Ravens balled out. I mean, it was an overall great game. Man, I'm gonna miss everybody on my team, but I just want to thank you guys. I'm all set.
Thank you, Brandon. Well done. It shows you how close this battle was today when the quarterback that doesn't win the game wins the MVP. That's quite amazing. The last thing we have to do is call the captains out from the Bayside Ravens, and they will accept their trophy from the president of the league. Ladies and gentlemen, you've waited for this, so let's make some noise. The Bayside Ravens! The Bayside Ravens 2019 champions, SUNBOWL champions, first men's championship. How happy is they and how happy are their families? One more time, give it up. The Bayside Ravens! Okay.
Let's go! Get a hand on it!
You all right? Oh. Take it. Take your job back. No, stick with us. Stick with us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Ravens, they're enjoying their maiden Senior SUNBOWL Championship. Kenny Andres, Adam Bolton, and my man on the sideline, Glenn Parker, GQ, Hall of Famer here, handling all the sideline stuff for us today. Whether you joined us at 9 a.m. this morning for the Junior SUNBOWL, the Colts SUNBOWL that followed, the Stingrays winning both of those there, the Thunder overcoming the Ravens in the women's division, or right now watching one of the most amazing finishes to a men's senior game. We appreciate you tuning in to Livestream Brisbane to watch the 2019 SUNBOWL Championships. Hope you join us for a couple more to come. On behalf of my cohorts here, Glenn Parker, Adam Bolton, Paul Mills, and Hollywood back at home, we hope you watch us again next season.
Get him up, get him up. Get him up, get him up. Funny how you choose and pick your battles, dude. Keep saying you number one, but I'm on top, yo, it's done. Dropping styles like napalm, fake rappers think they so strong. Verses full of hype and always ready for a fight. Spontaneous, magnanimous, cause they can't get close enough to run with us. If you wanna battle, get it hard, get it raw. No emotions, I shake you until your chains fall off. What? Large, in charge, I set the bar high. You running with the big boys now, get up, don't cry.